Hershey Park Stadium, the Pennsylvania Cable Network presents the PIAA Class 5A Football Championship. It is a matchup of unbeatens, the Manheim Central Barons and the Penn Hills Indians. The Barons are 14-0, Penn Hills is 15-0. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Our Day 2 coverage continues here on PCN, the 5A State Championship, alongside Ross Tucker. My name is Bob McCool. And Ross, you win in this game, and you've got two teams who are capable offensively of putting 40 points per game up, and defensively, they've shut teams down, both giving up about 10 points per game. Something is going to give in this one tonight.
Yeah, and they've both been so impressive, like you said, on both sides of the ball. I think Manheim Central, you think more about their front seven. They've been so good. Their linebackers, Flick and Moyer. Meanwhile, the defense for Penn Hills, their defensive backs, they're pretty much all going Division I at this point. They play receiver and DB. They got all kinds of speed.
And so that is what this one is going to boil down to. Manheim Central, they've been here before, but under a new leader right now, Dave Hahn. He's been here as an assistant. He was a 20-year assistant coach under Hall of Fame coach Mike Williams, now takes over this program, wins the district championship. It is the 18th District 3 championship for Manheim Central, the most in District 3, and now in his fourth season, Dave Hahn, as the head coach with the Barons, is 44-6. And if you're going to run the pro-style offense, the spread set offense, from the high school level, I don't know if you could find a better fit than Evan Simon.
He's only a junior, but he's put up ridiculous numbers in his 2 years as a starter. He already has over 10 Division I offers, including Pitt and West Virginia. He is great throwing the ball. I think he surprises people at times, Bob, with how athletic he is. I think his legs are going to be a factor for Manheim Central to have a chance to win this game tonight.
And I know standing on the field, the Penn Hills coaches were impressed watching him throw the football. They were impressed by his arm strength, watching him in warm-ups. The Penn Hills coaching staff, it's led by John Ladon. Young guy, just his second season as a head coach. Played here in a state championship game with Al Equipa back in 2000. In 2 years at Penn Hills, he is 23-4. And as Ross said, he's got a lot of really good athletes at his disposal. His quarterback, maybe not as decorated as Evan Simon, but just as productive in Hollis Mathis.
Well, Hollis Mathis, you see, he's run for about the exact same amount of yards as Evan Simon, but he does such a good job distributing the football out to his receivers, all the weapons we talked about, Daquan Hardy, Dante Cephas, Tank Smith. He's kind of like the point guard, Bob, that gets the ball to his playmakers in space, and they do the rest.
The map from the state of Pennsylvania from these two respective towns. Penn Hills is just east of the city of Pittsburgh. They won their first WPIL championship since 1995. Different story for Manheim Central. Just down the road a piece here from the town of Hershey in Manheim, in Lancaster County. They're part of the Lancaster-Lebanon League. In terms of the path to get here, for Manheim Central, they beat their Lancaster-Lebanon League rival in Cocalico for the District 3 championship, and then beat District 1 champion Upper Dublin to get to this state final. Penn Hills beats West Allegheny, ending the Hall of Fame career of Bob Palco, the coach for West Allegheny, coaching in his final game in that WPL championship, won by Penn Hills, and then they take down the defending state champion in Archbishop Wood a week ago in the semifinals. So certainly the pedigree is there. Interesting for a couple of things. Penn Hills was a 6A classification school a year ago, dropped back now to the 5A, but when you beat Archbishop Wood, as Penn Hills did in the semifinal, everybody takes notice that, hey, the Indians are very good.
Right, and in fairness, this is not the same Archbishop Wood team this year that we've seen the last however many years, 5 or 6 years, but they're still Archbishop Wood. It's still the playoffs, and it's still an impressive win, as is beating West Allegheny, who beat a very good Gateway team. I think in the playoffs, you can say that Penn Hills is a little more battle-tested, although you look at the Manheim Central schedule. Right. During the regular season, they took on all comers, Manheim Township, Cocalico, Wilson, Warwick. They played a bunch of good teams themselves.
They do, and they certainly are battle-tested, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one could ultimately come together. We're going to find out very shortly. It's time for us now to head down the field. It's the coin toss. It's the national anthem, the kickoff. Someone is coming out of here unbeaten and state champions between Manheim Central and Penn Hills in the 5A final.
No place I'd rather be with you, I told you earlier. I want you guys to shine tonight. This is your time. Just to review, you guys won the toss, you're going to receive. You're kicking the ball this way. Central has won the toss, and they will be receiving.
Ladies and gentlemen, prior to kickoff, we ask you please rise. Gentlemen, if you'll please remove your hats. We ask all military personnel, active or retired, please render a hand salute as we honor the United States of America. Salute its leaders and members of the armed forces with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, to be sung tonight by Lower Dauphin High School junior Emma McQuinn. Ladies and gentlemen, we present with pride and much gratitude our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
14-0 Manheim Central, 15-0 Penn Hills. And before we get this game underway, a little bit of an added piece to this puzzle comes our way from down on the sidelines from Meg Bolger.
Well, guys, I don't know how much stock you put into a summer scrimmage, but this is technically not the first time these two teams have faced each other. They actually played in a 7-on-7 scrimmage back in June. Manheim Central head coach Dave Hahn said that he's not too sure who won. There was a lot of back and forth, while Penn Hills quarterback Hollis Mathis remembers a little differently. He said they pulled it out, but he added, it's fun to think about how much better they've gotten and how far they've come. Guys,
Yeah, you don't think about that at that particular point in time, what could eventually come around, but with all the things that go on anymore in the summer, it's become a 12-month-a-year program. If you want to be playing at this level, teams are working, whether it's in the weight room or 7-on-7 stuff throughout the summer, but these two teams meeting one another in a 7-on-7 scrimmage. And if you win, you remember it. If you lose, you say, it was just a scrimmage. It really didn't mean that much.
Well, especially 7-on-7. I know that's become more and more popular, but anything that doesn't involve linemen isn't football, let's be honest.
That's a good answer. I will give you credit for that. Manheim Central wins the coin toss, and interestingly enough, elects to put its offense on the field first. Again, both teams averaging around 40 points per game. Manheim Central over that at almost 43 points per game. And Penn Hills averaging about 38 points per game, but their defenses are pretty exacting the same in terms of point production at about 10 points per game. And so the line drive kick will be fielded by one of the up men for Manheim Central, and diving across the 25 and out to just shy of the 30-yard line. That's where the Barons will get things rolling. Again, Evan Simon is their quarterback, 54% completion percentage, 2,500 yards plus on the season, 28 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. And the Barons will start 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. We'll send 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. Tyler Flick is his back in the backfield. And it's the senior who will get the call, and Flick will get wrapped up immediately across the 30 to about the 31 as we take a look at the Barons offense. Up front, a very solid an experienced offensive line led by Tyler Doherty as the center. Brett Wolgemuth and Troy Kolk are the guards. Josh Painter and Caden Warner are the tackles. The tight end is Evan Hostler. The three receivers, Colby Wagner, Will Rivers, and Isaac Perrin, with Ben Wagner mixed in there as well. We mentioned Tyler Flick is the tailback, and Tyler Flick has run for over 1,700 yards. He runs for 3 on first down. It's second down and 7 for the Barons. And here's a little sweep to the outside as they'll turn the corner. They'll pick up the first down and more as the Barons are out across the 40 to 45 and out to about the 47-yard line. And it's Colby Wagner on the run for the first down for Manheim Central.
Really nice job of blocking on the edge. Terrific job by the tight end there. Number 2, Evan Hostler, helping to seal the edge. He didn't knock the defensive end back off the ball, but he got enough of them that Wagner was able to get the edge. Already, Manheim Central showing they can get to the corner and get yardage when they do.
14-yard run for Colby Wagner on the sweep, and they'll go back to Flick. Flick bounces off a 1 tackle and fights his way across the 45 to about the 47-yard line as we look at the defense for Penn Hills. The defensive ends are Armand Gustav and Stephen Fielder. The tackles are Big George Freeman at 280 pounds and Jamie Tigner. The outside backers are Jordy Boswell and Devin Best. The inside backers are Tank Smith and Andy Plowden. The corners, Daquan Hardy and Dante Cephas, and the free safety is Rick Martin. As Flick is held to just 1 yard, so now it's 2nd and 9 for the Barons from the 47-yard line. Play action fake. Simon wants to throw it. He's got a man. It's Will Rivers inside the 25 and down inside the 20-yard line. Will Rivers on the first down hookup is finally brought down at the 15-yard line. Big first down hookup for the Barons.
And people always say, hey, what's a Division I quarterback look like? Like that. Did you see that throw right there on the skinny post? That was a frozen rope. They had 2 receivers to that side. Rivers was the inside receiver, and it was just inside of the safety to that side. And Simon put it right on him. Couldn't have handed the ball to him better.
38 yards on the hookup. Back to the ground game. Flick doesn't see much daylight and gets cut down. Well played. Jordan Boswell comes up from the outside linebacker and cuts down the legs as they'll wrap him up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe forward progress will put him at about the 13-yard line. Give him about 2 yards at 2nd and 8.
The one thing you're seeing early on here is the trust and the faith that Penn Hills has in their cover guys. They're playing man-to-man across the board with a single high safety in the middle of the field. They've got an extra defender in the blocks to stop the run game.
Rivers goes in motion this time. They fake the jet sweep to him. Little bootleg action, and Flick was open and he dropped the football. Tyler Flick took his eye off the football, dropped it. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Really nice misdirection play there, and Simon did a good job of whipping his head around after the fake to get the ball out there to Flick. Flick shaking his head knowing that's one he has to catch.
Tyler Flick has run for over 1,700 yards on the season, and he's been somewhat quiet as a receiver, only 7 catches on the year. But a very solid player on both sides of the football. He is one of their leading tacklers as a linebacker as well. It's 3rd down and 8 now for the Barons from the 13-yard line of Penn Hills, opening series of the game. Here in a jet sweep, this time it's Jake Harbach who gets the call. Harbach, who plays the H-back spot, takes it down close to the first down marker at the 5. That's where they needed to move the chains, and it looks like it's enough for Jake Harbach to move the first down and make it 1st and goal to go.
They're saying 4th down right now.
Well, they are. You're right. They're spotting at the 6, so it's 4th and 1.
So it's decision time for Dave Hahn, and I think knowing the speed that Penn Hills has and the expectation that they're going to make some plays in this game, he's going to go and be aggressive here.
4th and about, we'll call it officially a yard, probably less than that to get it for the Barons. They'll go with a 2 fullback set and a power I, and they'll give it to the fullback, the first fullback through, and it's Harbach, who then gets pushed from behind by his quarterback, Simon. And Penn Hills is saying they didn't get it. We'll see what the guys in the striped jerseys say. It's Indian football.
I think, if anything, he lost yardage. He ran right into the back of one of his offensive linemen, and there was nowhere to go. Huge stop for the Indians early in this game. Watch, there's no push up front. The right guard gets knocked backwards. Terrific job by the defensive tackle, George Freeman, you were talking about earlier, to knock the right guard back a yard in the backfield, and Penn Hills gets a big stop early in this game.
8 minutes, 41 seconds left to go, and Hollis Mathis and the Penn Hills Indians take over possession 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line. Mathis on the season, a 60% completion percentage. He's thrown for 37 touchdowns and just 10 interceptions. They'll flip this one outside, and they get it into the hands of Anthony Grimes, but they actually hit him behind the line of scrimmage, and they lose yardage back to the 3-yard line.
Manheim Central's defense has been so good all year. They are very disciplined, very athletic up front. You'll see a lot of movement from their linebackers, but right there, Hollis Mathis started with an option play, and they all knew exactly what their defensive responsibilities were.
2nd down, called about 13 now for Penn Hills. They'll keep it on the ground with Terry. They call him Tank Smith. As we take a look at the offense for the Penn Hills Indians. Up front, Freeman is the center. Roland Phillips and Harrison Bash are the guards. Jaden Terry and Claude Vangelis are the tackles. The receiving core we've talked about already. Daquan Hardy, Rick Barton, Dante Cephas, Anthony Grimes. They'll also use Corey Thomas, gives him great size as an extra receiver. And Tank Smith is their leading rusher, 5'9", 205-pounder. He's also headed to Howard, as was Hollis Mathis up until the coaching change. But Tank Smith on the season has run for over 1,650 yards. Mathis in trouble in the end zone, shakes loose of a tackle, spins out, and the ball is intercepted. Picked off, it's paired with the interception from Manheim Central. The Barons will take possession at the 16-yard line.
It started with the pressure, Bob. The Barons got in there on Mathis. It looked like it might be a safety. Mathis used his athleticism to get away from the Baron defender. You watch Mathis here with the stiff arm, gets away. Harbach's chasing him, and he's really just trying to get rid of it. And Perron, what a catch right there. It looked like it did not touch the ground. I wasn't so sure when it was live, but it looked like he prevented that from touching the ground.
So they take over at the 16-yard line. Here's Flick trying to get outside. Not much doing early on for Tyler Flick as he is wrapped up, tossed to the ground. Sakai Featherstone in on the tackle as Flick will get to inside the 15. Call him at the 14. It's 2nd and 8.
So far, handing the ball to Tyler Flick has been the least productive thing that Manheim Central has done offensively, which is really the opposite of the entire season, where they have ridden him to the state championship game. So far, they've had more success throwing it and giving the ball to Harbach.
In his career, Flick has run for over 3,800 yards and 60 touchdowns. Here's another jet sweep. This time it's Colby Wagner again. Wagner takes a pop, but he's inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Big hit by Daquan Hardy, but not before it's a 1st down run again on the jet sweep. The 2nd time, Colby Wagner's run for a 1st down.
Well, they're outflanking him on the edge. They're able to get the edge, and if I'm Manheim Central, I say just keep running it. I mean, as long as your tight end, Hostler, is getting that edge sealed and you're able to get a lead block, keep doing it. Just try to get down when Daquan Hardy's coming, because he is not messing around. He's a cornerback that's got offers from the likes of Michigan State and Nebraska. He hasn't committed anywhere. He'll take visits after this game, but you see his cover skills, and now you see the power.
Broken eye formation. They'll give it to Flick, and power from Flick, and Flick will drive into the end zone. Penn Hills hit him at about the 2, but Flick just kept driving the legs. 190-pound halfback is Tyler Flick, and he drives into the end zone. Barons on the scoreboard first.
Manheim Central taking advantage of the early turnover, and that time Flick had plenty of room. This is just power football. Pulling the left guard, everybody kicking out, and you see a lot of white jerseys, including Kolk, knocking the orange jerseys back.
So the interception by Isaac Perrin setting up Manheim Central with the short field from the 16-yard line. Tyler Flick taking in for his 32nd touchdown in this his senior season. On for the extra point comes Hunter Hess. There is a flag on the extra point attempt.
I guess the jerseys are red, but it's a weird color red. I said orange.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
The officiating crew, Joseph Lombardi is our referee, and I was told to make sure I made mention of the fact, no relation to the executive director of the PIAA. I'm not going to tell you who told me to make sure I said that, but it is no relation. The umpire is Riley Smoot Jr. The linesman is Jared Grandy. Line judge is Jeffrey Osborne. The field judge is James Niglio. The side judge is Joel Straub. The back judge is Keith Harbar. They're out of District 10 as the extra point attempt, this time by Hunter Hess, is good. Halfway through the first quarter, Manheim Central takes advantage of the game's first turnover to put the first points on the board with Tyler Flick going in from 5 yards out for the touchdown. It's 7-0 Barons when we come back live on PCN.
For over 25 years, PCN is proud to bring you exciting moments of Pennsylvania sports. From touchdowns to double plays to the butterfly stroke, PCN brings all the action right to you. PCN is a 501c3 nonprofit television network that receives no state or federal funding. Please consider a tax-deductible donation today. PCN is Pennsylvania sports. It doesn't matter what part of the state you're from. One thing is certain. Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
PIAA championship games are the exclusive property of the PIAA. Television coverage is licensed to PCN, whose exclusive rights are protected by federal copyright law. Any retransmissions of any kind or other use of the television coverage of this game without the expressed written consent of the PIAA is prohibited by law. I've always wanted to see that, the expressed written consent. I always hear that all my life. I've heard people say that. I never get a chance to say that. I'm happy to be able to do that.
I'm happy for you.
Small victories in life. Penn Hills with the return of the short kickoff are Manheim Central. The Barons on the board first at 7-0. And Penn Hills will start its second offensive series after turning it over in its first.
And the Barons are not kicking the ball deep to Daquan Hardy. They're just not doing it.
There is, we talked about the interception before for Manheim Central and then setting up the short field.
That's Parents' 8th pick on the year.
That is correct.
That is a lot for high school football to have 8 interceptions.
The 16th interception by the secondary of Manheim Central as a unit, as Penn Hills takes over from its own 40. Here's a little jet sweep of Daquan Hardy for Penn Hills, trying to do what Manheim Central's had some success with, as Hardy will pick up 3.
Nice job there by Harbach, Jake Harbach. He's only a junior, so he'll be back next year along with Evan Simon and the Wagner twins. 5'8", 200. That's a high school body type if I've ever seen it. Well, he moves well, though.
Let me just tell you about his gene pool. He happens to be the grandson of Mike Williams, so he knows a little bit about the game of football in Manheim. 2nd down and 7 for Penn Hills. They'll give it on a straight drive up the middle, and Tank Smith gets tanked himself as he gets dropped right there at the line of scrimmage. It's Tyler Hartle, a defensive end, who bear hugs him and drops him on the spot. 3rd down and 7 as we look at that Baron defense. Jake Harbach and Tyler Hartle are the ends. Tyler Doherty and Troy Kolk are the tackles. Tyler Flick and Landon Moyer will make a lot of tackles from the linebacker spots, along with Nick Christ. And the big backfield we talked about, Perrin, who had that interception, and Hostler are the safeties, with Colby Wagner and Will Rivers as the corners. Here's a little slip slide inside, and it's Anthony Grimes with the run after the catch. I correct myself, that is Hollis Mathis on the carry, and he runs it for 18 yards and a 1st down. Big scramble on the run by Hollis Mathis for the 1st down for Penn Hills.
Design quarterback draw, and here's the thing. They were sitting, Landon Moyer, 46, was sitting right there waiting for me. Moyer needs to try to close the distance there and get closer to Mathis. Can't let him have that much of an open window and that much space. Close the distance and get Mathis before he breaks free into the open.
That was an 18-yard run by Mathis, and now they go back to Tank Smith, and Tank Smith not going down easily as he fights for a couple extra yards, ends up picking up 3 out of it to the 36-yard line. 2nd down and 7.
You really can't go down easily if your name was Tank, right? I mean, I think that's kind of a rule.
He ran for 147 yards on 13 carries in the semifinal against Archbishop Wood. He's got his team now in a 2nd and 7 at the Manheim Central 36-yard line. With 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter, Manheim Central on top 7-0. Hollis Mathis pulls it out of the breadbasket of Tank Smith, who paid for it, and then Mathis will run back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Tank Smith is slow to get back up, and now he's back down again.
Yeah, he's hurt. Something with his lower leg. When Harbaugh came down and tackled him, he came down on the back of Tank Smith's legs, and that would obviously be a huge loss.
Smith on the season, 1,652 yards rushing, 21 touchdowns to go along with it. There is John LaDon again in his second season. He spent 3 years at Shaler and didn't have a whole lot of success there, but he comes to Penn Hills now in 2 seasons at Penn Hills. Good to see Tank Smith jogging off the field, limping a little bit, but looks like he'll be able to get back into the game eventually. But in 2 years at Penn Hills, John LaDon is 23-4. And right now his team is in a 3rd down and 6 from the Barron 35-yard line.
He came to Penn Hills right at the right time. Daquan Hardy, Dante Cephas, Hollis Mathis, Tank Smith, 4 Division I skill kids on one team in the same senior class.
And right now 3 of them are split out to the right side, with Rick Martin split to the left on 3rd down. They'll flip out to the slot. Pass is caught and running after the catch for a 1st down inside the 30-yard line to about the 26-yard line. And that was Dante Cephas, that was Daquan Hardy on the catch. And it's inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line.
Couple of huge 3rd down conversions for the Indians on this drive. I mean, they've had a couple 3rd longs. First time Mathis got it with his legs. That time Hardy, just a little quick wide receiver screen pass, and he's able to get upfield. That's the first time they've gotten the ball in the hands of either Hardy or Cephas.
They needed 6, they got 8. Here's the delayed handoff as Tank Smith is out of the game, and Arlon Thompson is in there as the running back. Actually, that's I stand correct. That's Ayande Parker who's in there for Tank Smith, who now Smith will now come back in as we check in with the situation with Meg Bolger on the sidelines.
Well, yeah, guys, you saw Tank Smith come over to the sideline, the senior running back, really walking gingerly on that left leg. The trainer chased him down the sidelines, but you could tell he was not coming out of this game, guys.
They'll throw instead as Mathis throws it underneath. The pass is caught by Rick Martin. Martin gets wrapped up, brought down by Rivers at about the 22, maybe the 21-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down at about 4, but there is a flag down right at the spot of where that tackle happened. Officiating crew discussing this to find out exactly what the call was. Again, it happened at the end of the play, it appeared. Martin with the catch, and the ball is being spotted at the 21. Now the question is what happened on the field, and we'll get that call from our referee, Joe Lombardi.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. 15-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
There you have it. Penn Hills with the unsportsmanlike conduct. We'll see if we can see it here.
Watch the tail end of the play and see what Rick Martin ends up saying. Yeah, you just can't do that. I mean, they're not going to allow taunting. If you clearly stand over the defensive back and say something to him like that, they're not going to allow that. They're cracking down on that, Bob. College, NFL, every level, but especially high school. It's just a silly mistake.
And so now instead of being at the 21-yard line, they're backed up to the 36-yard line on the 15-yard personal foul penalty. Mathis is into trouble. He scrambles. He buys himself some time, and he finds a receiver. It's Dante Cephas who makes the catch down inside the 10. 1st down, goal to go. Penn Hills at the 6-yard line. 30 yards on the hookup.
Terrific throw on the move by Mathis, putting some air underneath it. He does such a good job of buying time. They're trying to keep him in the pocket. It's just going to be hard for Manheim Central's defensive backs to cover that long if they can't get pressure on Mathis or keep him in the pocket. I mean, you can only cover for so long.
Corey Thomas checks in. He's slot right. Corey Thomas goes 6'3". In a key spot here on 1st and goal at the 6. Mathis looking his way, looking for Thomas. Thomas a little out pattern. Did he hold on? He did. Touchdown, Penn Hills. Corey Thomas, as I mentioned, they bring him in at the goal line situation at 6'3", but they don't throw a jump ball to him, but he still has full extension on a little out pattern in the end zone for the touchdown, Penn Hills.
Yeah, he was the inside receiver and just ran a quick out pattern against the nickelback, number 16, Will Rivers. You're talking 6'3" on 5'7" right now. And now we'll see what Penn Hills does for the conversion here.
The Indians have on many occasions gone for two, the old swinging gate as they line things up here. Hardy goes in motion. Hank Smith will fake the handoff to him, and he's going to throw it. Throws the jump ball looking for Mathis, and it's broken up and incomplete. The two-point conversion is denied. So with 2 minutes and 7 seconds now remaining in the first quarter, Manheim Central will maintain its lead at 7-6.
Not a big fan of that. I mean, I'm okay with going for two, but why do you need to try a trick play like that? I mean, you've got a really athletic quarterback in Hollis Mathis. You've got several outstanding receivers. I don't know why you go to a trick play, and I don't know, was that Tank Smith trying to throw that pass? That
trying to throw it to Hollis Mathis, the quarterback.
I think sometimes maybe outthink yourself a little bit. Just run your offense. I mean, the play before, you ran a quick out pattern to Corey Thomas. He was wide open for a touchdown.
Hollis Mathis, 4 of 5 so far for 50 yards, 1 touchdown, and the interception. Reminder, more football to come your way tomorrow. We'll start it at 12 noon. The 3A championship, it'll be Middletown against Aliquippa. And then it'll be the 6A championship to finish it all off. The Harrisburg Cougars and the Hawks of St. Joe's Prep will go after one another at 6 o'clock. We'll have both of them for you live, as always, as our coverage continues. Third decade of bringing you high school football here on PCN. Proud to be a part of it, happy to be a part of it. Great relationship with the PIAA. The new contract has been signed. We'll be doing it for at least 4 more years. Bringing you high school football and all the high school state championships throughout the calendar year here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. It's Colby Wagner on the kickoff return for Manheim Central out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line with 2:02 left to go in the first quarter. Barron's still on top now, 7-6, after Penn Hills comes up empty on the 2-point conversion attempt.
Wouldn't be surprised if on this series we see another jet sweep from the Barons. Both times they've run it, once to the right and once to the left, they've been able to get the edge because Evan Hostler, the tight end, has been able to seal the defensive end. And we've got the Penn Hills coaches up here next to us. I think they were on the headset talking to some of their players saying, you cannot get sealed on that play.
Barons again starting from the 33-yard line. Play action fake, Simon, little slanted. The pass is caught and bouncing off a couple tackles and still on his feet across the midfield stripe and finally brought down in Indian territory. Now a flag comes in at the end of that. That's Ben Wagner, Colby's twin brother, on the reception. And a flag at the end of the play again as the Barons are in Indian territory at the 46-yard line. It's a 21-yard pickup if it stands.
Face mask. Defense. 15 yards out on another run. First down, Manheim Central.
They'll give him a first down to the 47-yard line and then 15 more after that's over with.
Let's see the penalty here. He's going. I don't see any face mask yet. Yeah, at the end, I guess he kind of yanked it a little bit. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know if he really grasped the face mask, but you still got to be more careful if you're on defense. You don't want to give up free 15 yards. But that one was a little questionable in my book.
At the 31-yard line is where the Barons are right now with 1:46 left to go in the first quarter. Again, play action fake and a wide open receiver. This time it's Ben Wagner, makes a man miss. Excuse me, it's Colby Wagner inside the 15 down to the 10, and another flag on the play as Colby Wagner, is brought down at the Penn Hills 12-yard line, but the Barons are walking backwards. So the play action fakes right now for Evan Simon have frozen that secondary for Penn Hills, and he's finding open receivers. However, this one appears to be coming back.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Wow, that's a quick hold. I mean, he got rid of the ball very quickly. In high school, they obviously don't tell you the number of the perpetrator, if you will. I mean, it's tough to get a hold on that quick of a play.
And Dave Hahn, who was the offensive line coach for Manheim Central before taking over as the head coach now in his 4th season. Not happy with that call as the Barons are now backed up. It's 1st down and 16 now after the holding penalty is marked off. Simon again with a play action fake. This time he's in trouble. Shakes loose of that tumble. Buys himself some time, going to dump it off, and he finds a receiver inside the 15-yard line and down to the 12-yard line again. It's Ben Wagner. The twin brothers, Colby and Ben, the prime targets tonight, as Ben Wagner has it at the 13-yard line. That's a 24-yard pickup.
Simon has been pretty much flawless so far in this game. This time he gets pressure. He splits 2 Indians, goes on the move, stays calm, even with Hardy coming, puts perfect touch on the football. And look, there's a reason why he's a Division I quarterback. There's a reason why he's got all of the statistics he does. He is one heck of a player, and obviously a gigantic reason why Manheim Central is here in the state championship. He's terrific. 2
big catches for Ben Wagner as well. He's got 2 catches for 45 yards, and it's 1st and 10, more importantly, for Manheim Central. Here is Colby Wagner again on that jet sweep, and Penn Hills does a little bit better job this time of slowing it down, as Rick Martin was the first one to come up and make contact with him. As Wagner gets inside the 10 to the 9, it's a gain of 4.
So they were able to get the edge again. That time they just did a better job of closing. They were able to seal the edge, but a nice job by Martin then redirecting and making that tackle. Holds him to only a 4-yard gain.
2nd and 6 at the 9. Maybe the final play if Manheim Central opts to take a snap before the end of the quarter. It appears as if they will not. They'll let the final seconds tick down, and they'll lead it after 12 minutes in the PIAA 5A football state championship game. The Manheim Central Barons 7, the Penn Hills Indians 6. We'll take a timeout, come back to Hershey Park Stadium with more live on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I am an accountant.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I'm a teacher.
I'm a PIAA basketball official, I'm a firefighter, I'm a father, and I'm also a fan. I think it's easy for people to forget that we are regular people, that the same people I'm refereeing, that my kid plays with those kids sometimes. My kids play in the same league as these kids.
One of the greatest aspects of officiating is building relationships with the partners you're working games with, getting to know them as people, and also building relationships with the players and the coaches that are on the field with you every game.
These kids work so hard day in and day out, and you get to watch the benefit of them getting a new personal record, them making that bar that they've been dreaming of for weeks, and you get to have the front row seat to witness that every single day.
The PIAA 5A Championship gets set to start the 2nd quarter. Remind you to tune in PCN on February 2nd to see if Punxsutawney Phil sees his shadow during Groundhog Day. Manheim Central Barons with a lead at 7-6. They're driving for more. Alongside Ross Tucker, my name is Bob McCool. Meg Bolger on the sidelines for us here at Hershey Park Stadium. 2nd and 6 for the Barons from the Penn Hills 9-yard line. Little misdirection, and he'll hand it off to Flick, who's been quiet of late and still going to stay that way as he cannot get free and is brought down by Armand Gustav right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard back to the 10.
That's just a terrific play by Gustav. Comes off the edge, beats the block inside. You know, they were bringing pressure off the edge, so he was able to knife into the inside gap, and he makes a tackle in the backfield. The one thing that is noticeable so far, though, Bob, before that play, they're playing man-to-man on these Manheim receivers. The Manheim receivers have gotten open so far.
3rd and 7 from the 10. Sprint out for Simon to his right, looking for a receiver, and it's picked off. Evan Simon doesn't make the good decision there, and he pays for it as Daquan Hardy picks it off in the end zone, returns it out to about the 6-yard line.
I'm not sure if Evan Simon has gone against too many corners like Daquan Hardy. This was not open. He's trying to throw the out pass. He throws it behind Wagner. It's late, and that's a pretty easy interception for a Division I cornerback like Daquan Hardy to just step in front of. That was outstanding coverage. Right when I say that the Manheim receivers were getting open against man-to-man coverage, that wasn't even close to being open. That's one that Simon probably should have thrown away or tucked away to try to get some yardage on the ground.
Manheim Central got their first points after a Penn Hills interception. Can the Indians do the same here against the Barons? The difference is now they'll start from their own 6-yard line. And Tank Smith, like Tyler Flick, has not been able to get things going offensively from the ground game. He's tripped and knocked to the ground at the line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10.
Really the first mistake that Simon's made in the game. I think he had been perfect until that point. But that was a big one because that's points that come off the board, and now we'll see if Manheim Central can at least pin them down here to try to get good field position, or if Penn Hills can go on a long drive.
Simon had one incompletion, but that was the pass that Flick dropped, so he should have been perfect in terms of his numbers. Here's some daylight for Tank Smith to run through, and he'll turn it into a first down out across the 15-yard line to about the 17 or 18-yard line, calling an 11-yard first down run.
First time Tank Smith really to get untracked there. It's inside zone. He's able to get around the corner. Harbach is the defensive end of that side that has contained. I think he got thrown down by the offensive tackle to that side from Penn Hills.
Cephas split to the left. Hardy split to the right with Martin in the slot on the right. 1st and 10 at the 17. Little option run here, and the ball's on the ground. A bit of a erratic toss from Hollis Mathis. And the running back, Ayinde Parker, had to fall on the football all the way back at about the 11 or 12-yard line. That's going to be a loss of about 5 yards.
That's a huge play there. Now, the good thing for Penn Hills is they can throw the ball and make up for it. He didn't pitch it right away. He waited and hesitated to pitch it. What happens then is you lose the relationship that you have with the running back.
So Parker falls on it. Is a 5-yard loss. Now 2nd and 15 for the Indians. Out of the pistol set with the I formation. Here's Tank Smith. Bounces off of one tackle and a second, and eventually is wrapped up and brought down. It's Hartle and Ben Wagner in on the tackle. Around the line of scrimmage, maybe a hard-earned yard for Tank Smith.
And he's still hurting. He gets up hobbling again.
As Meg made reference to, it was an ankle issue for Tank Smith when he came out before. He guts it out, gets back in there, but now the Indians in a 3rd and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Excuse me, 3rd and 15 at their own 12-yard line. Will take him out of the game. They'll go to a 4-receiver set, 2 each way.
That was a heck of a 1-yard run, by the way.
Mathis hit as he throws it. The ball is in and out of the hands of his intended target. Had a shot at him, but Grimes could not hold on. It's an incomplete pass and 4th down.
Wow, aggressive man-to-man coverage by the Barons. Grimes, the slot receiver to the left side. He runs a little post route against Perrin, and if he catches that, he might take it to the house. It's right in his hands. Perrin's trailing him. That's a couple drops each team has now had in this game.
Andy Plowd now will punt from his own end zone. Colby Wagner is the return man, and the Barons figure to get good field position. No return possibilities. It hits and comes to a stop. It'll roll at about the 37-yard line of Penn Hills. That's where Manheim Central takes possession. 8:39 left to go in the first half. Manheim Central 7, Penn Hills 6. And the Barons start in great field position. The 2nd time in this first half they've started in Penn Hills territory.
They've had a lot of success throwing the ball with the exception of that last throw by Simon, but you got to be careful. You know, they're not used to going against defensive backs like Daquan Hardy and Dante Cephas. Cephas is committed to Kent State, has a bunch of MAC offers. Hardy, we already referenced, taking visits to places like Michigan State and Nebraska who have offered him scholarships.
It's only the 7th interception that Simon has thrown this season, as they'll go back to Tyler Flick, and Flick inside the 35 to about the 33, pick up a 4 for Tyler Flick.
Veteran-laden offensive line for Manheim Central, going against really an undersized Penn Hills D-line, but they are quick, really quick off the ball.
2nd and 6 for the Barons at the 33-yard line. Harbach is winged to the left. It's a handoff to Flick, who runs by the block of Harbach. and gets it inside the 30 to about the 28, maybe to the 27. Talked with Dave Hahn about his offensive line. I said, this has got to be one of your bigger groups. And he said, I don't know if it's big. I said, well, maybe not north-south, but east to west. They're at 5'11", but they're about 260 across the front five. And based on the history of Manheim Central, that's a big offensive line for the Barons.
6 foot 280, 6'1", 260, 5'10", 295, 5'10", 245. And they don't really have the height to be major college prospects, but extremely effective high school football players.
And they've been, a good portion of that has been together for 2 years, so great cohesiveness as Flick will follow that offensive line for a first down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Another first down pickup for the Barons, their 7th of half number 1.
And they're starting to just run it north and south right at Penn Hills, which is kind of what I expected coming into the game. I felt like with those shorter road grader type offensive linemen that Manheim Central would tighten down their splits a little bit and try to run right at them and negate the Indian speed advantage.
1st and 10 for the Barons, 24. And the play action fake this time. Simon has Perrin open. Perrin wrapped up at the 20, and Cephas won't let him get free and body slams into the ground. Will mark his forward progress at the 20-yard line to pick up a 4.
Cephas is really the type of cornerback major colleges want these days. I get a chance to talk to him all the time for my duties at Go Big Recruiting, and he's 6'1", 190. So that's what they want, not only to be a physical tackler like that, but against jump balls, 50-50 situations, the long arms and press man coverage. He's sort of the prototype.
2nd and 6 from the 4. Or excuse me, 2nd and 6 from the 20. After the 4-yard pickup, nothing doing this time for Flick. We'll see where they mark his forward progress, give him to the 19 and a gain of 1. So it's 3rd down and 5 now for the Barons. Again, the line of scrimmage is the Penn Hills 19-yard line.
And I really feel like if you're Dave Hahn, you should know before this play whether or not this is likely 4-down territory. They do have a pretty good kicker in Nico Gavala, who had a couple kicks last week against Upper Dublin.
It was a 34-12 victory as Simon wants to throw for it. It's going to get picked off again. Again with the interception, Penn Hills picks it off, and this time it is Graves on the interception. Grimes, on the interception. Anthony Grimes, the junior, picked it off.
And I just don't think Evan Simon is used to defensive backs that close this fast. I think he thought Harbaugh was wide open. Grimes read his eyes all the way, and the junior broke on that football and almost took that one a long way. Simon had to make the tackle himself.
Again, this broadcast talking about both these two teams have been very prolific offensively, but don't discount their defenses, holding teams to 10 points. And the 3rd turnover of this football game gives it back to Penn Hills. Now the Indians having an issue in terms of personnel. Again, Tank Smith not out there, so Parker was late to get back to line up, and nothing but confusion. I think the Indians are going to decide to take a timeout instead, or are they going to get called for a penalty? Again, Tank Smith having some issues with the ankle, and he was on the sideline.
False start. Offense.
Let's see if Ben can find out a little bit more down on the sideline.
Yeah, guys, it looks like Tank's going to head back into the game. He initially came off pretty frustrated that left ankle was still bothering him. He got it taped up pretty thoroughly by the trainer, and he just grabbed his helmet, and he's working it out a little bit on the sidelines, but I think he's going back in. Guys?
He's at least not going to be able to get back in for this play, but it does cost the Indians 5 yards because of that confusion. And now another flag is thrown before they snap the football. So some problems right now for John LaDon's Penn Hills Indians with back-to-back 5-yard penalties. 4th penalty of the first half now against Penn Hills, and now they're going to be in a 1st and 20 back at the 22-yard line.
All you're doing is increasing the degree of difficulty to try to get a first down when you're making these pre-snap mental errors. Tough to come back from that.
But it does give them the opportunity to get Tank Smith back on the field. As Meg said, he was ready to roll, and now with that stoppage on the penalty, they will get him back on the field. Again, it's 1st and 20, now backed up to the 22-yard line. Hardy goes in motion. They'll hand it off to Tank Smith, who tries to run a counter and gets it back to about the 25, 26. They get 4 of it back. penalties now against the Indians. Just one penalty so far against Manheim Central.
Still feels like it's just a matter of time before they get the ball in space to Cephas or Hardy again. If I was the offensive coordinator for Penn Hills, that would be my primary focus. How can I get the ball to those guys with some room to run?
Grimes goes in motion, and a little bootleg action from Mathis. Stops, plants, looks to throw deep, and Hardy's wide open. 40, and nobody's going to catch Daquan Hardy. It will go as a 74-yard completion, and obviously a blown coverage by the Barons and easy pickings for Hollis Mathis and Daquan Hardy.
Well, I said we're trying to get the ball to them in space. That's what I would do if I was coaching for Penn Hills. I didn't think I meant that much space. Daquan Hardy, it's just a dropped coverage by the Barons. Hard to see who missed the coverage, but you don't expect that from a team as well coached as Manheim Central. And if there's one guy you don't want to let scot-free, it's number one, Daquan Hardy, who is absolute lightning.
So 74 yards on the hookup. Penn Hills takes its first lead. And again, they'll line up and go for two here. They missed the conversion attempt the first time. Little jump pass from Grimes, and it's knocked away. Evan Hostler knocking it away from Rick Martin. And so the pass in the end zone for the two-point conversion is denied. 4:51 left to go in the first half. Penn Hills takes its first lead. It's the Indians 12, Manheim Central Barons 7. When we come back live on PCN.
Stadium lights are going out. The bleachers are empty. The reason? No officials. When fans are disrespectful to the calls on the field and those who make them, it is a hard position to fill. Show your support for your PIAA officials by demonstrating respect. Let's all work together so the game is great for everyone. A PCN Select subscription is more than a single championship. It's a year of Pennsylvania sports. PCN Select is a great value for all seasons. Previous PIAA championships, sports profiles, inside the lines, PA books about Pennsylvania sports, and PCN Sports Classics, all on demand. Check out PCNTV.com for more details. PCN is Pennsylvania sports.
The Manheim Central Barons falling behind Penn Hills as Hollis Mathis with a little bootleg action that time, and he got somebody for the Barons peeking into the backfield. Daquan Hardy was wide open as a result, and it's a 74-yard hookup.
And you see that, Bob, at every level of play so much now in the NFL and college. The misdirection, the orbit motion they call it, the ghost motion with the receivers coming around the back just to try to disrupt the eyes and the sight line for the linebackers and safeties.
And kicking it short. And on the return for Manheim Central is Juan Perez. The sophomore will fight to about the 45-yard line. Again, the Barons will get good field position, but the difference in this game is the turnover column. Evan Simon, 6 interceptions coming into the game tonight, but he's had 2 picked off here in the first half, and Penn Hills converts the second one into the touchdown to take the lead at 12-7.
And both have been in the red zone, too, where it looked like they were poised to get points. That ends up being the difference, and you wonder if he'll be more cautious with the football now, just knowing the athleticism of these Penn Hill defensive backs.
4 out of 7 for Simon. So far throwing for 87 yards with those 2 picks. As they'll keep it on the ground here with Tyler Flick, and Flick will run it into Penn Hill's territory, come up a yard shy of the first down. It's 2nd and 1.
The good news for Manheim Central is they're starting to run the ball with Flick a lot better than they were in the first quarter. The bad news is they've had a couple turnovers.
2nd and 1 as a result of the 9-yard run for Flick, his best carry of the night. He does have the Barons' lone touchdown. It's a 5-yard run back in the first quarter that gave them a 7-0 lead at the time. Play action fake. Simon has a receiver open. pass is taken inside the 40 down to about the 36 or 35 yard line, depending on where they spot it. It's Will Rivers who makes the catch. And the ball eventually was stripped out, but the whistle had blown the play dead at the 37-yard line. That's a first down pickup of 9 yards from Simon to Rivers.
Yeah, not sure if that's a true RPO run-pass option or that's just a called play in the huddle. But Simon pulling the ball out of the belly of the back and throwing that quick curl route to the inside receiver. He's done that several times in this game. If he was reading anybody, he'd be reading the linebacker to that side.
First and 10 for Manheim Central at the Penn Hills 37-yard line. Simon fakes as if he's going to throw it outside. Don't know if that was intended as a fake or not. It doesn't matter, as he had no time. Dropped in the backfield. Jordy Boswell, the outside linebacker spot, will drop him for a loss back to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if Simon's a little gun-shy now after the 2 picks, but he looked outside, did not like what he saw, and rather than risk it with these ball hawks for the Indians, he tucked it away and lived to play another down.
2nd and 12 now after the 2-yard loss. As you can look at Dave Hahn, took over from Mike Williams, who coached at Manheim Central for 34 years, the Hall of Famer, 348 wins, 75 losses, and 3 ties, won 16 District 3 championships. Here's a snap over the head, and it rolls all the way back, but a whistle, I believe, had blown it dead before the snap. The flag on the field, right near the line of scrimmage.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the best 5-yard penalty Manheim Central may have had all year.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. I mean, snap infraction, he snapped it. Yeah, he snapped it, it's a live ball. Snap infraction is usually if you double clutch or you move the ball a little bit. If you just shotgun snap it like that, it's not a snap infraction. That's the start of the play, and everybody, hello, you better wake up because the play just started.
2nd and 17 now instead for the Barons. Back at the Penn Hills 44-yard line, 2:45 left to go in the first half. Simon again looking to throw for it, looking for Parrott, who makes a leaping catch inside the 30 and down to about the 28-yard line. Going to be very close to the first down, but I think he's going to come up just short, 16 yards when they needed 17.
That is an unbelievable throw. I mean, inside receiver, he's running an out route. You got safety help over the top, a very small window with which to fit that ball in. I wondered if Simon would get a little gun-shy after 2 picks. Evidently not. A lot of confidence to step up and throw that ball right there into that window.
3rd down and 1 now for the Barons at the 28-yard line. No doubt 4-down territory if they don't get it here. Go hand it off the Flick. Not much there, and a good job of, again, crashing off the edge by Jordy Boswell. But I believe Flick had enough momentum to carry him to get the first down. We'll see where they spot him.
Well, I don't know about that. I think they might need to measure this.
If they get to the 27, they have it.
You might be right. I think he got a pretty good spot there, Bob. It's close.
They'll bring out the chain crew. They'll extend it and find out whether or not it is 4th and inches or 1st and 10. They got it by the nose of the football, quite literally. 9 first downs now for Manheim Central. More importantly, the Barons are down 5, 12-7 with 2:01 left to go.
He got hit in the backfield. Nice power from Flick, and it looked like he got just short of the 27-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 27. They'll go back to Flick, and again, he has a tough time just getting back to the line of scrimmage. Those defensive ends, Gustav and Fielder with Boswell coming off the edge, are getting to Flick before he can get in kind of head of steam up, as he's wrapped up at the 26 and picks up just in 1 more yard.
And Flick's getting frustrated. I don't think he's used to getting hit in the backfield like this. Veteran-laden offensive line, 4 seniors, 1 junior, and they've done a good job all year. but the defensive ends in particular coming off the edge, so a lot of times they're knifing into the B gap between the guard and the tackle.
2nd and 9. Simon wants to throw for it. He has Ben Wagner, who takes a hit and cannot hold on to the football. Dante Cephas with the pop to jar it loose.
I mean, these corners are big-time players. I mean, number 1, Hardy, number 4, Cephas. These are real-deal players here. They're bringing pressure off the edge again. Simon gets it out. Perfectly legal hit. I love that. Helmet to the side, shoulder pad right in the stomach of the receiver. You can still be physical, Bob, and be totally safe and legal. Love that hit by Cephas.
And headed to Kent State to continue his football exploits, but that big stick forces Manheim Central to a 3rd and 9. Here's a sprint out left side for Simon. Stops, plants, throws. Rivers tries to make the adjustment to make the catch. Did he hold on? He did.
Wow.
First down pickup. Will Rivers first and goal at the 4-yard line.
Terrific adjustment by Rivers. 5'7", $141, and he was perfectly covered, so Simon had to throw him a back shoulder throw right there. Perfect coverage, and he's able to make the play. Grimes, that's tough. I mean, you're trying to run stride for stride with somebody on an out and up like that, and then they throw the ball behind them. You're not looking for the ball as quickly as Rivers is.
Manheim Central will call the timeout. Comes with 1:03 left to go. Barons have it first down, goal to go from the 4-yard line. Again, Mike Williams was the head coach for the Barons for a long time. Dave Hahn was his assistant for 20 years, and we talked to him before the game about what he learned in the championship run for the Barons earlier when they won it back in 2003.
That was 15 years ago. Actually, I'm wearing something here to kind of honor that team tonight. That's our 2003 sweatshirt. But what I take from it is, be consistent in what we do. Be us. Don't change anything. We tried to keep everything as normal as possible. You didn't want to make it too much of a big game. We know it's a big game, but every game is a big game in Manheim. So we're just excited about this opportunity right now.
His team is in a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. After the catch for Will Rivers, his 3rd of this first half. 1st and goal at the 4 for the Barons. Rivers goes in motion. They'll hand it off to him on a jet sweep. Rivers to the 3, and he's cut down at the 2-yard line. Great tackle there by the Indians to knock him down at the 2 at 2nd and goal.
Plenty of time for Manheim Central with 2 timeouts. Dave Hahn's going to call another timeout here. Looked like it was pretty well blocked initially. Just the athleticism and the hustle of Penn Hills to chase that down. Tank Smith was in there, Devin Best as well. It looked like they might have something there. All of a sudden, it just closed.
As we see Dave Hahn in the huddle with his team now in a 2nd and goal at the 2. They call the timeout with 49 seconds left to go. Dave Hahn has a relationship with James Franklin, and it's a special relationship. He was the center at East Stroudsburg when James Franklin was the quarterback. It's that unique relationship that only a center and a quarterback can really have. Second down, goal to go at the 2-yard line for the Barons, who now have 1 timeout left here in this first half. Penn Hills, for what it's worth, has all 3 of theirs left if they can get the ball back with 49 seconds now left to go in the first half.
I think Manheim Central is really trying to serve 2 masters here. They want to score a touchdown, but I also think they don't want to leave any more time for Penn Hills to get one.
They go with the extra blocker, Josh Painter, offensive lineman, along with Harbach lined up as the 2 fullbacks. Simon's in trouble, and he's going down. Rick Martin gets through and buries Evan Simon back at the 15-yard line, and Simon is slow to get back up.
Well, and he made the right decision there. I think they thought they could fool Penn Hills with play action out of the heavy set. Nobody's open. He looks right, looks left. Nobody's there. And Martin right there. All over Simon.
So the Barons will call their 3rd and final timeout now with 31 seconds left to go. But oh, how the landscape has now changed. After 2nd and goal at the 2, they're now backed up to a 3rd and goal at the 15.
And that was a very good decision by Evan Simon to not throw that football, because there was outstanding coverage across the board. That's really impressive by Penn Hills. Nice job by their coaches to say, hey, we don't care if they're in the heavy set with the wishbone full house backfield. Be alert still for play action pass. They were all over it. He looked for Harbach to the right first. In the flat, he was totally covered. Nothing was open to the backside. Heck, by the time he even looked to the backside, Martin was on him right away.
So Martin, part of that backfield. Again, it's Hardy and Cephas and Martin, all a big part of it. And then don't forget Anthony Grimes, who comes in there as the nickel back. He had the second of the 2 interceptions for the Indians in this first half. Martin with 6 tackles now with that sack, including 4 solo tackles to this point in time. So following the Barons' third and final timeout, with 31 seconds remaining in the first half. Again, it's third down, goal to go from the 15-yard line for Evan Simon to work with. And a timeout is now called. Penn Hills will call the timeout before the snap of the football. So John Ladon sees what Manheim Central is lined up in, and maybe either doesn't like what he sees or wants to change something up. Obviously, he calls the timeout before they snap the football.
Well, and both these guys, these coaching staffs, they put so much time in all season, and specifically this week. Now, you're in the state championship. You're pouring over as much footage of the opponent as you can. So he sees the set they're in, what hash they're on, and wants to make sure his guys are aware of the route combinations that they've shown in this situation so far this year.
Penn Hills Indians in the state championship game for the first time since 1995. Then they won the 4A classification, because there was only the 4A classifications up until the third year.
I remember that team. That was my junior year of high school. Was that Ron Graham?
They won. They beat Lower Dauphin in the 4A championship 35-14.
They had a really good team. I remember watching that game.
Third down and goal to go from the 15-yard line for the Barons. And down 12-7. Simon will flip Tyler Flick from his left side, his right side to his left, and Simon wants to throw it. It's picked off again. Intercepted at the goal line. It's Daquan Hardy with his second interception, and he's got room to run. 35-40. Midfield, Daquan Hardy. No one's going to catch him now. 99 yards. Interception. Call it a pick 6. I'm going to go on a limb and say that's going to tie a PIAA state record. 99 yards on the interception return.
Well, probably not, because there have probably been guys that have caught interceptions in the end zone and have taken it 105 yards. But that's the danger of throwing the ball from the 15-yard line against these corners. Simon throws it not even close to Wagner. I don't know.
Yeah, Wagner went in, and Simon was clearly not throwing it in that way.
That had to be some kind of miscommunication, because Simon just threw it right to Hardy, and nobody's catching him. I mean, that kid is lightning.
So the Barons with their third turnover of the game, and Daquan Hardy and Penn Hills turns it into 6 points. And now again, they'll line up and go for 2. This time a more traditional snap with Hollis Mathis, but he overthrows his intended target, Dante Cephas. So again, they're denied the 2-point conversion, but now with 14 seconds left to go in the first half, Daquan Hardy with his second pick of the game and returns it 99 yards for a touchdown.
And, you know, the thing is, too, let's take another look at it. Colby Wagner thinks he's running a skinny post. Simon throws it. I mean, it's not even close. That's a miscommunication. But this is the killer. I mean, the backbreaker is just the speed that Hardy has. And once he turned the corner, it was over. Nobody was catching him. He's absolutely electric with the ball in his hands. And that's huge. I mean, that whole drive from Manheim Central, you're taking all the time off the clock, and you're thinking, worst case scenario, we're down by 5 points. Hopefully, though, we score a touchdown, and we're up going into halftime. Now, to be down by 11, to be down by 2 scores, that's tough. That is a tough turnover there. To not only have the turnover, but the pick 6, 99 yards.
And Penn Hills will get the football to start the third quarter, so an opportunity for the Indians to do even more damage at this point in time. There's still 14 seconds left to go in the first half. So Manheim Central will get at least one more chance here. And there you see an afternoon and evening that Evan Simon has not experienced before. 6 interceptions on the season coming in. He's had 3 picked off here in the first half. Again, they'll keep it on the ground, and the ball, actually they're going to call it, they're throwing a flag. It looks like Penn Hills may have jumped off sides on the kickoff.
Offsides. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
You know, it's been a pretty even game, Bob, with the exception of those turnovers.
Yeah, there's your difference right there.
That's been the difference.
But don't forget, Manheim Central's touchdown comes after their interception that gave them a short field.
Yes.
So the INTs are all the difference makers right now in this football game.
Yep, that gave them a short field after they had gotten stuffed when they went for it on 4th down there, which is a turnover on down. So it's been all turnovers really in the first half.
Line drive kick fielded and returned for the Barons. Question now is how much time they'll leave on the clock, and it will be down to 7 seconds. So the Barons will be able to bring their offense out now on the field and at least get a playoff. Evan Simon officially 7 for 12 throwing the football for 135 yards. Again, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he's been sacked 2 times as well.
It sounds weird saying this, but he's been really good other than the 3 interceptions. I mean, he has. You know, I think every other pass has been on the money, and most of them have been completed. There was a drop by Flick that we referenced, but obviously those 3 interceptions, I mean, I don't think the ball's hit the ground yet. It's just either been to his team or their team so far.
Other than that, how'd you like to play, Mrs. Lincoln? Tyler Flick with the carry. Tyler Flick across midfield, and that will do it as he gets tripped up and knocked down after a 9-yard run. And the final seconds will tick down. Penn Hills looking for its first state championship since 1995. And the Indians are halfway home through 2 quarters of play. Defense is the difference maker in this one, as the Penn Hills Indians have come up with a couple of interceptions. They lead at 18-7, and Meg Bolger right now is with Indians head coach John Ladon.
Well, Coach, defensively in particular, Daquan Hardy, you seem to come up with huge plays exactly when you need them. Got to be pretty happy from what you've seen.
Yeah, you know, our defense, our back's been up against the wall in the playoffs several times now, and they continue to make plays, you know. We put Hardy backside, man on man, and if they want to throw it at him, he has to make a play, and that's what he does.
Huge momentum builder going into the half. What's your message to the team to keep that going?
Keep playing, you know, just keep playing fast with a lot of energy. Leave it all on the field.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck in a second. Guys?
Thank you very much, Meg. Thanks, Coach Ladon, as we are at the halfway mark of the 5A state championship game. Penn Hills 18, Manheim Central 7. We'll take a timeout when we come back to Hershey Park Stadium. Mike Zambelli and Jim Wills with our halftime show. More of our coverage live around the state of Pennsylvania on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
PCN brings you the PIAA championships in a variety of sports. From the field to the pool and the court to the track, PCN brings you the best scholastic teams competing on the state's biggest stage from all the best angles. With multiple cameras, instant replay, and professional commentary, we take high school sports and elevate them to new heights. Watch on cable and the PCN app. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania sports to you.
Slam dunk, home run, touchdown, goal! However you score, do it with PCN, bringing you sports coverage every season. Watch live and stream on demand. With coverage this good, you'll be a part of the action on cable and the PCN app.
Playing conditions for this 5A championship game are just ideal. It is a little bit on the chilly side, but there is barely a wind blowing. But Penn Hills has opened up an 18-7 advantage, the 5A championship game. Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Mike Zambelli, pleased as always to be joined by Jim Wills. And Jim, I thought you made a great point earlier today when you and I were standing on the sidelines. We talked so much about these incredible athletes that it's always offense. 30 rushing touchdowns, 3,000 yards. But how about the efforts of these guys on the defensive side of the ball as well?
This has been a defensive juggernaut. There's no question about it. You're seeing speed. You're seeing closing speed, especially from the D-backs from Penn Hills that you haven't seen all year long. That's what happened to Simon. He's not used to that speed, as Ross Tucker said.
Manheim Central has had the football inside the 10-yard line 5 times in this first half. They have one score.
Yeah, and that's the thing that they're going to be talking about in that locker room. It's going to be we got to convert when we get inside the 10-yard line. The problem is in the last 3 games we've seen here this weekend, turnovers have caused points for the other team most of the time.
We saw it this afternoon. The Southern Columbia turning around a 14-14 tie with 2 key picks in that second half. Let's take a look now at the 5A bracket. And again, the guys earlier talked about it. What a wonderful. You look up and down the Cedar Cliffs and the teams that are involved in this. Penn Hills working their way through the bottom part of the bracket, beat West Allegheny. Archbishop Wood. A little note here for Penn Hills. Archbishop Wood, since being allowed in the PIAA tournament in 2008, has either won the championship themselves or lost to the eventual champion. That bodes well for Penn Hills right now.
No, it does. That's a great stat you said, Mike. And you see Manheim Central up the top, beating Cedar Cliff Calico, and big game against Upper Dublin last week to get themselves into the final. But that stat with Archbishop Wood is so true.
Well, the Barons' schedule speaks for itself. They arrive here undefeated, opened up with wins against Susquehanna Township, Hempfield, Warwick, Wilson, Westlawn, a 20-10 final, Elizabethtown, Cacalico, Lampeter, Strasburg, and the wins, of course, in the postseason against Cedar Cliff to win the District 3 title. Cacalico once again getting by Upper Dublin 34-12 to advance to this championship game undefeated at 14-0. Look at the Lancaster-Lebanon Division II, Manheim with a 6-0 record, and again, tested there throughout with the caliber of play in that division.
Yeah, no question about it. They've done a nice job. They've been consistent, as you saw in those playoff games. They scored 40 or more points in those playoff games, except for last week, but the thing of it is they've been very consistent offensively. They're used to outscoring people. That's why they're struggling right here now.
Well, their one touchdown was produced, as you said. I mean, turnovers have really played a part in what we've seen really in all 4 games to this point. It was an interception that led to their only points of this first half.
Right. Everybody's equal opportunity when it comes to the turnovers here, and it's the interception that led to that. You're going to see it right here as Mathis is coming out of that backfield, and an interception here by number 11, Isaac Perron, who did a nice job of creating an opportunity for them to get themselves into the goal line, and Flick takes it in for the touchdown right there. But again, a turnover produced points, which has been the case all night long.
Yeah, they have been able to move the football, but they have bogged down with turnovers and mistakes once they've gotten it to the 10. We'll take a look at Penn Hills when we return. They lead this one at the half, 18-7.
Relive the action with PCN. Did you know you can rewatch this and other PIAA championships with the PCN Select streaming service? You can also purchase digital downloads, Blu-rays, and DVDs of PIAA sports championships on the PCN Store. Ready to sponsor the PIAA championships? Get your business off the sidelines and into the game. Contact us at PCNTV.com or send us an email at sponsor@PCNTV.com. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports.
Nightcap of day 2 of this 3-day football championship from Hershey Park Stadium. Our 5A championship game with Penn Hills, an 18-7 advantage to this point of the festivities. Welcome back here at the half as both teams in their respective locker rooms and certainly going over some strategies and whatever adjustments might be made here. Let's take a look at Penn Hills and the kind of season that they have had undefeated. This battle of undefeateds, really makes it even tougher with the pressure that you come in here. But you look at the results of their 15-0 season, and Jim, just a number of challenges along the way, preparing them for what's right here. Of course, most notably when you fast forward to the playoffs, wins over Peters Township 22-14, at West Allegheny 28-18, and of course, whenever you beat Archbishop Wood, we talked about that. That's a big feather in your cap, 20-13 victory there.
Yeah, no question about it. That victory over Wood is an eye-opener across the state. Most people had Wood penciled right into this championship game again, but again, the Penn Hills Indians did a great job upsetting them 20-13.
Wins along the way during the regular season. Here is the Whippeal 5A Northern Division Mars, former participant in the state championship game, 6-1, 9-2 overall. North Hills 7-5 overall. Shaler winding up at 4-7. Armstrong, Kiski area, Fox Chapel, and Hampton. Part of the Whippeal 5A Northern Division there, coming out of the western part of the state. Well, we talked about these incredible athletes, and boy, what a resume Daquan Hardy has put together in his first half.
No question about it, Mike. He came in here with 17 touchdowns on the season. He's got a couple here tonight already, and he got them in a lot of different ways. Very, very interesting night for Daquan Hardy.
Yeah, he certainly did. And just a play of their skills on the defense. Here is the first thing that happened defensively with Manheim trying to go for it on 4th and short. They weren't able to get it there, but then the turnovers inside the 10 really proved to be the difference.
Yeah, he played it great there. He had an inside position there, inside the 10-yard line, great position. And you're going to see him here come out of nowhere and come up with this football right there. That's a great job by number 13, Anthony Grimes, on that one. The thing of it is, you're going to see a lot of great plays, but one of the ones you're going to see that's the best is that one right here by Hardy, as he takes this one 99 yards on an interception. He has been the best tonight at reading Evan Simon's eyes. He has been one step closer to the receiver all night long than Simon has been.
Oh, by the way, he's got a 76-yard touchdown reception as well.
They caught him in that broken coverage. He was wide open. He had a waltz into the end zone. No problem there. So he's had a heck of a night.
Has to be some concern. They have 3 touchdowns, but no extra points to go with it. They're off schedule on their extra points.
Yeah, they are. They tried 2 swinging gates, and they didn't work on that. Then they tried a regular extra point formation, didn't work on that. So, I don't know. They're so confident in themselves they can score points. They're probably not worried about it right now.
I might have to think those extra points, though. I don't like that they're certainly
I
not
know,
working.
you're not an extra point in this guy.
That's for sure, but they are off schedule. Let's turn our attention now to Manheim Central. They have proven they can move the football. They can run it, they can throw it, but they got to limit those turnovers.
They have to, and it's important in this half for Simon to get his confidence back. Right now, his confidence is shook. As you know, we're saying through the whole game, he hasn't met D-backs like these guys. These guys can break on the ball really, really fast. They're great D-backs. He's got to get more confidence in the second half. He's going to be the one that leads them back to winning.
Certainly a whole second half to go. No reason to get away from their game plan and what they do best.
No, I think that they can still continue to do what they do, run the ball with Flick, do what they need to do, but they need to get a really good break coming out of the second half.
And quickly for Penn Hills, your thoughts on going into the second half?
They're just happy to be where they're at. They're going to continue to do what they do, and their defense got more confident than ever with those 3 interceptions.
What an exciting football game. Hope you're enjoying it here at home. Bob McCool and Ross Tucker will take us to the finish line. Penn Hills 18, Manheim Central 7.
For over 25 years, PCN is proud to bring you exciting moments of Pennsylvania sports. From touchdowns to double plays to the butterfly stroke, PCN brings all the action right to you. PCN is a 501c3 nonprofit television network that receives no state or federal funding. Please consider a tax-deductible donation today. PCN is Pennsylvania sports. It doesn't matter what part of the state you're from. One thing is certain. Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Again, it is halftime, and Penn Hills leads Manheim Central 18-7. in the 5A Football State Championship. Alongside Ross Tucker, my name is Bob McCool, and once upon a time there was a wise man who once said defense wins championships, and defense is the difference maker so far.
There's been 4 interceptions in the game, and that's really been the difference in the game. Manheim Central started out by getting the touchdown after the terrific interception by Perron, but then after that it's been 3 interceptions by Penn Hills within their own 10-yard line. Absolutely incredible to prevent points each time, and obviously Hardy had the big one he took back to the house.
And you think about what we talked about at the beginning of this game. There's going to be a big play factor in this game, and you've got to factor that Penn Hills had that ability, and obviously that has been the difference maker.
Right, because not only was it the 100-yard interception return, but they also had the 74-yard touchdown pass with the dropped coverage. Manheim Central's made more mistakes than Penn Hills has so far.
As we take a look now at our highlights from half number 1, you're going to see exactly what we're talking about. And it started with that interception by Perrin, and it gave the Barons the short field at the 16-yard line. And then Manheim Central does what they do, and that is run the football with Tyler Flick, and they get out on top 7-0.
They got off to a great start, then right back down the field.
Penn
Hills, and Hollis able to find the quick out pass to Corey Thomas.
And then it was the blown coverage that we talked about, and it turns into that 74-yard hookup to Daquan Hardy, who can just walk into the end zone. That would not be the last time he did that tonight, because he comes up with this interception, and officially it will go as 100 yards as you see the shot down the sideline from the goal line, and Daquan Hardy will not be caught. And right now, it is Penn Hills on top 18-7 as you take a look at the numbers. And before you go any further than this, it's clear that the difference now in the second half, if Manheim Central is going to win this football game, is going to be the confidence level of Evan Simon.
Right, and you just wonder, we talked about whether or not he would be a little gun shy, and he wasn't. I mean, he made some terrific throws on that last drive, fitting the ball into some small windows, but then it still ended with that pick 6 from Hardy, so that'll be interesting. You got to wonder what Coach Hahn said to Evan Simon at halftime, because you don't want him to be rattled by a rough first half.
We're going to find out what he has to say with our Meg Bolger right now.
Coach, a couple of interceptions and missed opportunities in the red zone. Other than that, it's been a very back-and-forth battle. What are you looking to see here from your team in the second half?
We got to protect the ball in the second half. I think we can move the ball on them. We got to capitalize when we get in that red zone and score, obviously. We need a big series here on defense, get the ball back, and offense needs to punch it in. We've been down before. We're not fearing that. We're in this game. We're going to keep battling, keep plugging away.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Thanks. Guys.
Well, again, you talk about defense and defense making a difference in this game. Well, maybe it's not a bad thing that Penn Hills gets the football if you're Manheim Central, because defense has made a difference in this football game, and it'll be the Indians who will start with the football to start quarter number 3. Again, 3 turnovers for Manheim Central, all of them the interceptions, and then that 1 turnover as well for Penn Hills, and that 2 was on the interception by Perrin.
They're going to try to get a 3 and out here, get good field position at a minimum. You definitely can't allow another big play.
And now you're John Ladon, you're thinking the exact same thing. You know what, if we can come out here and we put a drive together, we might be able to put a little bit of a nail in the coffin of the Manheim Central Barons to start this third quarter.
That's a really good point. Really good point. I know what you don't want to do. Kick the ball to number 1. I mean, this is one where you tell the kicker, I don't care what you do as long as you don't kick it to number 1. The problem is with Penn Hills, it's like, or number 4.
Yeah, or number 13, or number 2, or there's several of them out there you probably don't want to have some space and have a football under their arm. So that will be the task to get things rolling, and it is Hunter Hess who kicks off for Manheim Central, and he'll roll it down the sidelines and does a great job. It will be Hardy will pick it up at about the 11, trying to go east to west. And Hardy will get tripped up in a big-time tackle right at about the 13-yard line, and it was Chris Shaw who's on special teams and makes the hit.
He was about 1 foot away from breaking that. I don't know if you saw what I saw up here, but when he turned the corner here, if he got through that window right there, he was taking that to the house. Nice job by Manheim Central, but we were about to see another big-time play by Hardy.
Daquan Hardy offers from Michigan, Michigan State, and Nebraska. And again, that's on the defensive side of the football, but he is electric when he is out there. Tank Smith is back out there on offense for Penn Hills as they're going to go in a naked backfield here with Tank Smith lined up on the wing, and they'll hand it off on a jet sweep. And it is Hardy who carries the football, gets 2 to the 15-yard line.
Nice job by Evan Hostler there on the tackle. He did a good job blocking at tight end in the first half on those jet sweeps. I like that first play call, though, by Penn Hills. I'm kind of greedy that way, but I would give the ball to Hardy a lot. I mean, if I were Penn Hills coach, number one would get the ball every series, at least one touch.
Well, he's out of bounds right now. They just pulled him out on the sideline for this particular play on 2nd and 8 at the 15. They go with a bunch set here. Grimes goes in motion from right side to left. They'll hand it off to Tank Smith, trying to sweep the left side. Smith turns the edge. Smith has the 20, 25, and first down as Tank Smith is run out of bounds at about the 27 or 28. We'll see where he stepped out.
You know, he just stayed patient with that, and I think Dave Hahn thinks that there was holding on the edge there. Let's take a look at it. Top right of your screen is there holding right there on number 8. You can see Hostler's got his right hand up in the air as if he's being grabbed. You know my philosophy, though, Bob.
There's never holding.
No, that's not true. It's only holding if they call it.
That's true. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. 13-yard run. Will Rivers and Landon Moyer in the tackle for Manheim Central. This time it'll be Smith who goes in motion, but that's going to be illegal motion. Illegal procedure, or did they get a timeout beforehand? They did. Penn Hills gets an early timeout.
Their first timeout of the second half.
So the Indians, a little bit of confusion as to what they wanted to do offensively, so John Ladon will call the timeout.
It's a good point, though, by Dave Hahn, the Manheim Central coach, at halftime about we've been down before, because they have. They were down 20-7 to Warwick, I believe. They were down the game you called 10-0 to the Wilson Bulldogs. Right. So they've been behind before.
And that was, if Evan Simon had a worse first half, it was that game against Wilson. And that's mostly because the Bulldogs blitzed the living daylight out of him. He was 1 for 13 in the first half in that game, but the Barons came back and won it in half number 2. Pennsylvania's top high school wrestlers take to the mat on PCN's Match of the Week this January. Watch athletes from across the state compete on cable and the PCN app each week. Go to PCNTV.com for details. PCN is Pennsylvania sports. Penn Hills, Manheim Central, early third quarter, Indians 18, Barons 7. Penn Hills with the football and a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line after the longest run of the night for Tank Smith went for 13 yards and a first down. Play action fake. Mathis drops back a little further, throws it high, pass is caught. Dante Cephas with the catch in Manheim Central territory at the Baron 45.
So there's just nothing you can do about that if you're Manheim Central. I mean, that was perfect coverage. They were right where they needed to be. They tried to make a play on the ball, and a 6'1" Division I kid went up, jumped over him, and made the play. Terrific throw by Mathis. Cephas climbing the ladder, went up to get it. Nice job by Cephas, and Mathis trusting the athleticism and size of Cephas.
Cephas now with 2 catches for 57 yards. Here's Grimes, makes a man miss in his own backfield and turns it into a positive run of about 6 yards as Anthony Grimes is inside the 40 at the 39, and it's 2nd and 4.
And Penn Hills is feeling it right now. They're doing a good job getting the ball to some of their playmakers in space, and they got a lot of them. I mean, we don't even talk about Grimes that much. That kid's lightning as well. He's only a junior. You got to think he'll be one of the focal points of the team next year.
2nd and 4 at the 39. 10 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Pistol set with an I formation for the Indians in this particular look. Play action fake again from Mathis. He's going to roll out and keep it himself. Mathis needs a block, makes a man miss. Flag goes down as Mathis skips himself inside the 35 and down at the 33-yard line. Tyler Hartle with the tackle for Manheim Central, but again, a flag on the play.
2 flags. Another one comes in way late at the tail end of the play. Now there's 2 flags they need to talk about. The second one looked to be a dead ball foul.
Joe Lombardi will talk it over with his crew and come down with the decision. McKinney said that no relation to the executive director, but again, hats off to them for another fall sports season. A lot of flack, a lot of talk, a lot of arguments throughout the state of Pennsylvania. But when it talks about the administration and putting together state playoffs and finding out packets and sites and officials and all those kinds of things that it needs to administer, PIAA staff under the direction of Executive Director Bob Lombardi, Melissa Mertz, Mark Byers, and his staff, they do a great job, and they have so much experience. It's hard to remember that the football state playoffs only started in 1988. People forget about
fouls
that.
On the play. Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty from this spot. After the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Manheim Central.
So we got a 10-yard penalty against Penn Hills, and then the 15-yard penalty assessed against the Barons.
Well, and you had one of those earlier in the game. Let's see the flag right there. There's a couple different places they could have called holding there. But then the very tail end of the play, not sure what the unsportsmanlike conduct was against Manheim Central, but you just can't do that.
Landon Boyer right there, and you're right in front of the Penn Hills bench as well. And with that penalty against Manheim Central,
kills you.
Puts it at the 30 and a first down.
Yeah, it just kills you. You cannot be undisciplined like that.
Mathis looking for more, a little slant into the pass is broken up. Again, looking for Cephas, but getting a hand on, I believe it was Ben Wagner for Manheim Central, got a hand on it, knocked it away.
And it's a good thing he did, because otherwise Cephas was taking that to the house. Oh, man, it's just a drop.
Yeah,
that was
just dropped it. Yeah, Ben Wagner was the defender, but Cephas had it.
And he probably would have scored. That was just a drop right in the bread basket.
Hardy split to the left. Martin is slot left. Grimes slot right. And Cephas split right. And it's Tank Smith who gets the call. Landon Boyer hits him from behind with some help from Tyler Flick. Those two linebackers lead the Barons in tackles as they'll bring down Tank Smith at about the 27-yard line. That's a pickup of 3. It's 3rd and about 7 coming up now for Penn Hills.
Landon Boyer's a nice player. Really enjoy watching him play. 5'9", 190 pounds. You know, so often we talk about the Division I guys and all that stuff. He's 5'9", 190. He is one heck of a high school football player. This is a big play right here.
3rd and 7 for Penn Hills. 4-down territory, no doubt, for the Indians. Mathis looking for the lob over the top, and it's caught. Touchdown. Daquan Hardy does it again. This one will go for 27 yards, and Hardy's in the end zone for the 3rd time tonight.
That was an incredible throw from Hollis Mathis. Watch him drop it right in the bucket. Boom. I mean, Ben Wagner couldn't have had much better coverage. He's playing man-to-man on a kid with Michigan State and Nebraska offers, and he's pretty much stride for stride for him. And Hollis Mathis just puts it right where it needs to be. Give him all the credit he deserves for that one.
That is his 40th touchdown pass of the season. And now they'll throw for 2, looking for Cephas, and this one is broken up as Ben Wagner got a hand on it. So again, for the 4th time tonight, Penn Hills going for 2 comes up short. And with 9:18 to go now in the 3rd quarter, Penn Hills takes the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, puts it in the end zone as Hollis Mathis puts it in the breadbasket of Daquan Hardy for the touchdown from 27 yards out. We'll check in now with Meg Bolger on the sidelines.
Well, guys, as you mentioned, 1995 was the last time the community of Penn Hills celebrated a state title. On Thursday, the school celebrated with their team. They held a huge pep rally, which included many video messages of former Penn Hills players. St. Louis Ram Aaron Donald sent a message of encouragement to his alma mater, and in fact, former Pitt All-American Pro All-Lineman Bill Freilich actually paid for the entire room and board for this team to come up here today. He paid for everything last night so that they didn't have to drive today. So a lot of former players really sending their encouragement down here to Penn Hills to bring that championship back home to Pittsburgh. Guys,
that is so cool. When you start to see the communities come alive, they had fire trucks in Penn Hills to send the kids off on the buses to come here to Hershey yesterday, and some very distinguished alumni coming through with a little change as well.
Well, that's awesome that Bill Freilich did that, but Aaron Donald's making $22 million a year now.
He's got more money. Bill Freilich was a phenomenal player at Penn Hills and then played at Pitt and was an all-pro offensive lineman for a number of years in the NFL, played for the Atlanta Falcons for a long time. Of course, Aaron Donald was actually at the semifinal win last week against Archbishop Wood, watching his alma mater and his team from the sidelines beat Archbishop Wood to get to this state final. And now on the short kick, Manheim Central is going to stand to take great field position out of this. Again, the Barons are now down 17 points. They're going to get the football, and they're going to start in Penn Hill's territory at the Indians' 44-yard line.
And the thing is, too, is Evan Simon can't afford to be gun shy. He's got to be aggressive.
Flick is behind him in the shotgun, and it's Flick who will get the call. Flick forward progress will push to about the 42 and a gain of 2. It seems like it's much worse, though, than a 17-point difference in this football game. With 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter, there's still plenty of time for Manheim Central. But it's just been such an avalanche right now for Penn Hills, it seems much worse. Again, they'll go to Flick. Flick trying to find some daylight against that Penn Hills defense. Not a whole lot happening. He'll get 2 more to the 40. It's 3rd and 6.
Big play here. And this is pretty clearly 4-down territory, I think, when you're down 17 points. High school football. I think Dave Hong, when he's calling the plays here, is thinking, all right, we got 2 downs to get 6. They've had success with some of the RPO stuff, Bob, where they put the ball in the belly of a back and then throw a quick curl route or a quick slant.
Action fake for Simon. And it's going to get picked off again. And it's that man again. It's Hardy. He's got room to run. He gets a block across midfield. And Daquan Hardy with the Indians' 4th pick. A 35-yard return to 3rd interception for Daquan Hardy, and the Penn Hills Indians are back in business.
And I think Evan Simon shell-shocked. Look at the right side of your screen. Terrific read by Hardy. He's playing man-to-man on the receiver in front of him, but he just reads Simon's eyes. He's not worried if Simon throws the ball underneath to Wagner. That's called dropping off. He dropped off and undercut the route behind it. That's the route combination. Hardy was all over it.
And it's not just his interceptions, but he's returned to 3 interceptions, 141 yards. I mean, he's putting his team, not just getting him the ball, but giving them great position as well as the Indians take over at the Manheim Central 35-yard line. Tank Smith with a big hole. Tank Smith right up the gut will take it home for another. Penn Hills touchdown, 35 yards. Huge hole up the middle, and Tank Smith takes it home. Flag on the play at the end. So I believe the touchdown will stand, and then this might be some extras at the end of the play.
Well, it looked to me like Tank waved to the Manheim Central defender at the end of the play. I really don't like seeing that. It's just so unnecessary. Watch the tail end of it. Flashing the deuces. Peace out to the guy behind him. You don't need that. I mean, you're dominating the state championship game. You're going to win the state championship at this point, barring an epic comeback by Manheim Central. Just enjoy that. Make it about your team and the success you're having and winning, rather than trying to make them feel bad.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, that will be assessed on the kickoff.
And so Penn Hills again will kick from further back after they'll assess that on the kickoff, as the Indians again will line up to go for 2 here. We'll line up with the standard formation. They tried to swing a gate a couple times to no avail. They tried a straight pass last time with Hollis Mathis. We'll see what they try to do here. Smith is lined up in the backfield. Mathis on a sprint out. Drops back deep, going to throw underneath, and it's tipped and knocked away and incomplete. So the one thing that Penn Hills has not been able to do tonight is 2-point conversions, but they put the ball in the end zone, and they lead the Manheim Central Barons with 7:48 left to go in the third quarter. The Indians 30, the Barons 7. More when we get back to Hershey after this on PCN.
stadium lights are going out. The bleachers are empty. The reason? No officials. When fans are disrespectful to the calls on the field and those who make them, it is a hard position to fill. Show your support for your PIAA officials by demonstrating respect. Let's all work together so the game is great for everyone. A PCN Select subscription is more than a single championship. It's a year of Pennsylvania sports. PCN Select is a great value for all seasons. Previous PIAA championships, sports profiles, inside the lines, PA books about Pennsylvania sports, and PCN Sports Classics, all on demand. Check out PCNTV.com for more details. PCN is Pennsylvania sports.
Daquan Hardy, what a day for Daquan at this point in time in the game. When he's touched it, big things have happened, and all of them good for the Penn Hills Indians. 3 receptions, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And add on to that what he's done with the interceptions. And Daquan Hardy, again, offers at this point in time Michigan, Michigan State, Nebraska among those who have been interested in what Daquan Hardy can do. And right now, Manheim Central would be a testament to that. They would say, yeah, you're pretty good. I could see you playing at the next level.
Terrific instincts. He's shown that he'll be physical. He's obviously got tremendous speed. He's impressive.
Manheim Central will get good field position out of this. Again, there was a celebration penalty called on Tank Smith after running in for that touchdown. And so they backed them up 15 yards, and Manheim Central will get good field position again as they'll start in Penn Hills territory. Didn't do them any good last time, as it still led to another interception for Evan Simon and company. And again, the junior on All-State selection a year ago as a sophomore now starts again, 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line, 7:38 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, I never played quarterback, Bob, so I don't know what it's like to throw 4 interceptions and how you're feeling, but I did play basketball and missed a bunch of shots, and I just kept shooting yourself. You just kept going. You just keep going. This is the first time we've seen them run the ball with him, and we thought that that could be a factor in the game. I like that decision by Coach Dave Haunt for Manheim Central. He's a big physical kid, 6'3", 205, very impressive on the hoof, and get him the ball, run the ball, get an extra blocker in there, and go to the ground game with Simon.
In the district semifinal game against Governor Mifflin, he rushed for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns to help flip that game in Manheim Central's favor. And this time he'll hand it off to Flick. Flick has the edge. Flick has the first down and more. 30, 25, and down to the 22-yard line. And Ross, just to finish, I thought I asked Dave Haunt about that, about using Evan Simon to run more. He said the reason we don't is because we don't have another Evan Simon. If he gets hurt, we're in a world of hurt, and that's the risk you run when your quarterback is running with the football.
Well, and I get that, but it's 30-7 in the state championship with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
There's no tomorrow. Basketball season is starting tomorrow, so you're
I don't think he plays basketball, so go ahead.
16-yard run for Flick. And the Barons again will keep it on the ground. This time it's Jake Harbach on the run. Harbach will run for the edge and maybe turn the corner and pick up a couple. And he's down actually out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Turns into a 6-yard run for Jake Harbach.
Good answer drive right here for Manheim Central, but they gotta finish the deal. They turned the football over 3 times inside the 20, 4 times in Penn Hills territory.
Now Flick will actually go in motion out of the backfield. A great play to trip up Evan Simon, and getting through in the backfield again was Armand Gustav. What
Huge
a great
play by Gustav. I'm not sure Simon doesn't score if he doesn't make that play. Watch the hole here. They had a double team. They were going to go up for Tank Smith. If Simon gets into this gap right here, after the block by his pulling guard, I think he walks into the end zone. That's a heck of a play by Gustav.
Instead, it's 3rd and 3 now for the Barons from the 15-yard line. Back to Flick. Flick has the edge. He's got a blocker. He's got the 5. Touchdown, Tyler Flick. Great blocking up front, and then he had his fullback sidecar right in front of him, and Jake Harbach. And Harbach was just looking for somebody to block. All the way into the end zone, touchdown, Manheim Central, 15 yards on the run.
I have no idea what happened there. I mean, look how open the hole is. Good blocking, and the Penn Hills guys get caught up inside. I mean, that almost looked like they were giving him the touchdown. That was as easy as it gets. Harbach's just escorting him in almost untouched till he gets to the goal line.
It's the 33rd rushing touchdown of the season for Tyler Flick. That's a new Manheim Central record. Flags again on the extra point attempt.
Dead ball. Offsides. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
Tyler Flick now zeroing in on 100 yards, 91 yards to be exact. And the senior running back on the year, if he gets to that 100-yard level, that would be the 10th time this season in what is Manheim Central's 15th game of the year. Talking with Dave Hahn about his recruiting, he said some teams like him as a running back, some teams like him as a linebacker. Robert Morris has been in to see him. Villanova's coming in to see him this week. As the extra point is up and home, as Nick Gavala's extra point is good. 5:58 left to go. We're still in the third quarter. And Manheim Central with a little bit of an answer now, at least quiets down Penn Hills for the time being. But the Indians are still on top, 30-14.
Really well-blocked, well-designed play. Flick could even slow down a little bit and let Harbach take on that defender at the goal line and walk into the end zone. That was too easy for Penn Hills. I mean, they just let him run the ball. Took him 5 plays, 46 yards in less than 2 minutes.
I think that is your key point right there. Is it took them 1 minute and 50 seconds to do that, and they're right back in the game again. And again, right now it's a 2-touchdown game if you count into two-point conversions. It's a 16-point game right now with Manheim Central. Again, it's been all Penn Hills, but it's not an insurmountable lead. That's the difference in all of this. It just was the avalanche of interceptions and big plays for Penn Hills, and it seemed like it was a much greater deficit than what it is. But Manheim Central puts together a quick drive and a quick strike and take it in for the touchdown. We'll see if Dave Hahn's crew can figure out a way to come back. Do you try the onside kick here, or is it too early?
I wouldn't mind trying the onside kick, because you definitely don't want to kick it to those two guys deep anyway.
Yeah, he might run it back that far anyhow.
You might as well. Don't kick it to him. Don't kick it to number
1. Onside kick it, and it rolls through and bounces on the ground, and it's Hardy.
And he still gets it again.
For the 20, 25, 30. 35 makes a man miss. Here comes Daquan Hardy, and no one's going to catch him now. Daquan Hardy, 83 yards, and another Penn Hills big play touchdown.
This guy is unbelievable. And this is also why we just said 5 times, just don't kick it to him. Anybody but him. I'm sorry, but that's poor. You cannot kick it to that kid and let Daquan Hardy get the ball in open space. He's electric. One stiff arm, and it was over. I mean, he's by far the fastest kid on the field, and he has been unbelievable. He is having a state championship game to remember.
Striking in so many ways. Wide receiver, defensive back, and now special teams performer. All 3 levels of the football game have registered Daquan Hardy in the end zone for Penn Hills. And again, the Indians will line up and go for 2. Mathis wants to throw for it. Good strike, but good play, good defensive play by the guys in the black and white jersey.
He threw it right at him hard. Guys, you gotta laugh. Look at Evan Hostler asking if he's okay. Evan Hostler's a good kid. You see if he said, "You okay?" That hurts, man. It's cold. It was 21 degrees, and he just smoked the ref.
And the thing is, for the official,
That hit him in the head?
Yeah, it sure did. Instinctively, you want to put the hands up to catch it. I'm fine. You can't hurt me. You got to throw it harder than that.
Who is the umpire? Riley Smoot Jr. is one tough dude. Isn't that a move from the longest yard? Isn't Burt Reynolds like, I'm going to throw the ball and hit the ref as hard as I can?
I don't think it was the ref. He wanted to do that too. But did you know you can watch this game and other PIAA championships with the PCN app? Download the app on your favorite device to start streaming PIAA championships live and on demand, and buy a copy of all the action. For details, go to PCNTV.com. 5:45 left to go in the third quarter. Penn Hills 36, Manheim Central 14 after the interception, the kickoff return for a touchdown by Daquan Hardy. Here's the rundown for Hardy touching the football. 3 receptions, 109 yards, 2 scores. 2 kickoff returns, 87 yards, and a touchdown. He's carried it 2 times for just 4 yards. And then the 3 interception returns, 140 yards, and a touchdown as well. So the one thing that Manheim Central has done is at least slow down his ability to run with the football on the jet sweeps. That they've got contained. Otherwise, Daquan Hardy has been a nightmare from the crew from Manheim.
There's an injury there on the side for Penn Hills. Well, you always hate to see that, but especially in a state championship game, and you want to be able to celebrate the success they're having at this point. But to your point, before that last kickoff, Bob, it's a 2-score game. It was still a 2-score game.
2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions, and we got a tie game if you're Manheim Central. And we see the injured player for Penn Hills was Noel Roach, the sophomore out there on special teams. Looks like obviously it's some kind of a shoulder issue as they tended to him, and good to see him walking off the field under his own power as the Barons will start 1st and 10 from the 36.
And you know, the Barons had to play the District 7 champ last year in the semifinals. They played Gateway, right, and that game came down to a game-winning field goal at the very end. And Gateway had some serious speed with Courtney Jackson and Davis and those guys. Talking with the Manheim Central coaches, though, they felt like Penn Hills was a little bit better than Gateway was last year, but they also said, hey, you know what, I think we're a little better.
Again, Penn Hills a year ago was playing at the 6A level, and they lost in the 6A semifinals. Evan Simon has a man. Colby Wagner slips behind the defense, and Colby Wagner is going to go in for a touchdown. It's become a shootout in this third quarter. That's a 64-yard hookup. Simon to Colby Wagner for a touchdown.
And Manheim Central says, hey, we can get some big plays too. Man-to-man coverage, and Colby Wagner just one at the line of scrimmage. It'll be left side of your screen, fakes the handoff to Flick, perfect touch by Simon. He was working against Grimes, and Colby Wagner can roll. Colby Wagner's got some serious wheels. Grimes was not catching on him, catching up to him, and here we go. It's a 2-score game.
And so they're going to go for 2 here. Try to make this a 14-point game if they can convert. Simon will hand it off to Wagner on the jet sweep, but he won't get in. Well played defensively, and it was Tank Smith who came through and got to Colby Wagner at the shoe tops before he could cut it upfield. And so again, going for a 2-point conversion, this time is Manheim Central, and coming up short, but it is a 16-point difference on the scoreboard right now. 5:32 left to go. Can you top this? That's what we're playing right now in the third quarter. Manheim Central scores, Penn Hill scores, Manheim Central comes back with another one to make it now 36-20.
Really good job by the offensive line of Manheim Central, showing run there, low hats, staying low so that the safety wouldn't get involved at all. Wagner won at the line of scrimmage. He's a junior, he'll be back. Can't even imagine the numbers that he and Simon will put up next year, those two.
The numbers that these two teams have put up now in this night. Manheim Central now with a total of 328 yards of offense. Penn Hills with 272. Total those up, that's 600 yards of offense 5:32 left to go in the third quarter. So we told you at the beginning of this game that these two teams, whether it was going to be offense or defense, they've been prolific in both categories. Which one was going to win out? The first half, it was defense. Second half, it's offense.
And, you know, the mistakes that Manheim Central's made, you know, the drop in the coverage on Hardy, kicking the ball to him ever. Now, it doesn't look to me like Hardy's out there right now.
Might be resting. Cephas is nearest to us, and Grimes is the other who is deep.
Now both those guys can run too, but that's still a break. I have to kick it to number one's direction. They were going to kick it to him anyway.
There's the onside kick, and it's well played, and falling on it is Eddie McKissick for Penn Hills. So they were anticipating it. They had a lot of guys with low numbers up front, so Penn Hills was thinking that the onside kick might be coming. And McKissick, who is a junior quarterback, backup quarterback, falls on it for Penn Hills.
That is a really nice job by McKissick and his coaching staff. Either making sure he was ready for it there or just during the week saying, hey guys, on the front line, you do not move until the ball is kicked deep. You keep your eyes on the football. He was the only guy there, Bob. If he doesn't field that cleanly, Manheim Central gets the ball.
Instead, Penn Hills gets it in Manheim Central territory, trying to run an option, but nothing there. Mathis didn't have anywhere to go with the pitch man, who was Grimes, and the Barons were all over the quarterback as well, and Mathis did the best thing he could, which is to go down in the arms of Landon Moyer, actually lost yardage and lost 3 on the play.
And there is no quit in these Manheim Central Barons. I wasn't so sure after the Tank Smith run up the middle that it was a huge run, the Daquan Hardy run, but there's still a lot of football left. There's a lot of time left, and don't tell the Manheim Central kids that they're out of it. They're not believing that at all.
Grimes split left, Cephas split right, and there's a flag on the handoff, and a snap to be more precise, and this is going to cost them 5.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
And they're not believing they're out of it, Bob, because they're not.
No.
It's a two-score game with almost 17 minutes to go. Now you have 2nd and 18. You cannot let them get a first down here. 2nd and 18. They're behind the sticks. You got to keep Mathis in the pocket and keep everything in front of you.
Daquan Hardy is on the sidelines for Penn Hills. Helmet is off, just taking a breather, I think, right now on a 2nd and 18. Give it to Tank Smith, and not happening against Manheim Central. Barons have it stacked up. Tyler Doherty, Troy Kolk, the 2 defensive tackles stopping Tank Smith at the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 18.
I'm surprised that Daquan Hardy's not in at all in this series. I don't know if he's just taking a break.
It doesn't look like no one's tending to him as if it's an injury. I just think it's a breather. At this point in time, there you see him on the sideline.
He's hanging out by the heater. The heater's over there.
The gloves are coming on. It's not hockey where the gloves are coming off. That's a whole different thing. In his case, the gloves are coming on. It's 3rd and 18 now at the 44. Big spot here for the Manheim Central defense.
Aggressive coverage by Manheim Central. Everybody's up.
And Mathis looks to throw it. He's going to throw it over the head of Grimes. There in coverage was Perrin. Incomplete pass will bring up 4th down, and Penn Hills will punt.
Manheim Central gets a stop, but if they go down and score and get a 2-point conversion, you'll get a 1-score game. They came with the heat there. I mean, they came with the pressure.
Just the 2nd time that Penn Hills will line up to punt.
And punting was an adventure last week against Archbishop Wood. I think they snapped the ball over the punter's head 3 times, maybe. So if you're Manheim Central, you are rushing this and you're getting in there.
He just gets it off. It's a high, short kick. Colby Wagner calls for a fair catch and will make it. There is a flag back where the place of the kick. There's Andy Plowden. He is the punter for Penn Hills.
I think that's just a 5-yard variety.
Right, and therefore would not be, even the 15-yard penalty would not be enough because it was 3rd and 18. just kind of rolled into him.
He just kind of rolled into him afterwards. That should be running into the kicker. It should be a 5-yard penalty. And it's up to Penn Hills whether they want to just take it where the kick is or re-kick.
Right. They could decline the penalty, take the play, which was a fair catch caught for around the 35, or they could take the 5-yard penalty and re-punt it.
Running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So they will walk off the 5.
I'm a little surprised by that, given the adventures that Penn Hills had punting the ball last week. I'm a little surprised that they're going ahead and they want to punt it again.
You got to figure Manheim Central is going to come after it again.
Although that was a perfect snap. I mean, that was a great snap by the long snapper. They're missing the guy out.
And it's the long snapper. That's who's missing.
That's not a good sign. You kind of need him. Perfect snap.
And he's going to fake it and throw it, and the pass is caught. A flag is down. As they run the fake, they throw the pass. The pass is caught for the first down. It's a scheme Snell on the reception, but a flag thrown in the Penn Hills backfield.
He got a first down.
Oh, yeah, he definitely got the first down, but what's the penalty? Based on the reaction you see John Ladon.
That is a gutsy call by Penn Hills to go with a fake field goal on 4th and 13.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And the Penn Hills coaches are next to us, and they are going berserk right now, saying they're wrong. I think what you're looking at really is the inside slot receiver right there. You know, if they don't tell you exactly who they're calling, you know.
Right. Yeah, they're saying it's an ineligible receiver, but who is the player that they're saying is ineligible? That we don't know. And obviously John Ladon on the field and his coaching staff up here beside us are absolutely incensed, and they are convinced that there was not an ineligible receiver downfield. Let's see if we can see it here.
All right, so to the near side, they got one off, and the tight end's on. That's fine. To the other side, the only debate would be whether or not the second receiver is up on the line of scrimmage or off. That's the debate. Because you can't have 6 guys in the backfield. You have to have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage.
So now they will punt the football again. A line drive kick, no return. Oh, good job by Colby Wagner. Fielded that one on a hop. If he doesn't field it, it's going to roll all the way down, at least inside the 15 and maybe to the 10-yard line. And now a flag comes in at the end. So a great job by Colby Wagner to field that ball on a hop and save his team a whole lot of real estate, and now maybe even get more of an advantage depending on what this penalty is all about.
After the play. Personal foul. Kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
There you have it. Add on 15 more to the end of the run. And now the Barons are going to be out to the 45-yard line as they're going to walk off 15 yards on the personal foul penalty against Penn Hill.
And I think they called that against Anthony Grimes. He was way 15, 20 yards behind the play, still blocking a Manheim Central Baron.
So the Barons down 36-20, 3:07 left to go in the third. Start 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Barron goes in motion. They'll hand it off to him on the jet sweep. He gets to midfield, stays in bounds across the midfield stripe. Actually going to spot him out of bounds right around the 50. The gain of 5.
Manheim Central having more and more success on the ground right now. And I still think we'll see more of number 6, Evan Simon, running the football. With his big body as a quarterback, you get an extra blocker in your formation when you run with the quarterback.
6'2", 195 pounds is Evan Simon, as his team's at midfield on a 2nd and 5. It's Flick. Flick will fight, come up a yard short at the 46. It's 3rd and 1.
No need if you're Manheim Central right now to do anything other than keep running it. They have gotten stuffed before in short yardage, so sometimes if you know this is 4-down territory, Bob, you can take a shot here. I don't know if they want to do that, though, right now.
Barons are 4 out of 8 on 3rd down conversions. They're in one right now on 3rd and 1 for the Penn Hills 46-yard line. Turn, hand off to Flick. Flick has enough, 1st down. Needed a yard, he got 2. It's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line of Penn Hills. Workman-like effort tonight for Tyler Flick, and he's getting closer and closer to that 100-yard barrier.
Just inside zone to the right. They don't even block the middle linebacker, just focusing on the defensive line, and that's the key, really. I mean, anytime you're blocking, block the down guys first, because unless they're blitzing, the linebacker's not going to make the tackle until it's a 2 or 3 yard gain. Unless they're really hitting the gap, stay with the down guy. Make sure the down guy does not make the play.
6th 1st down of the half for the Barons, 15th of the game, and now Penn Hills is going to go, Manheim Central will call the timeout. Manheim Central Barons, we talked a little bit before, their lone win in a state championship came in 2003. 2009 on a cold night here in December, it was a different story. Manheim Central got on top of Selinsgrove early in that game with the touchdown pass. They led 7-0 at halftime. And then ultimately, it was the running of Cameron Benner and the defensive play of Ryan Kaiser for Selinsgrove, who went on to play at Penn State University. He came up with a big interception that set up that touchdown. Seth Lawver with the touchdown that gave Selinsgrove the win. An epic night, a great win, their only win for Selinsgrove. But here's the other side of the story. Seth Lawver was in an automobile accident that following spring and was paralyzed. So the unfortunate side of it all was that he had that great moment with the game-winning touchdown in the state championship in 2009. Selinsgrove winning it over Manheim Central 10-7. Simon, play action fake, he's in trouble and he's going down. Simon just didn't have any time and he couldn't get to pull the trigger on the release, and he gets dropped in the backfield. The sack by Devin Best.
That was nice job by Best, but really a coverage sack. Simon had time right there, but nobody was there. And it's a nice job actually by Simon to eat that, because if he tried to throw that right there, he would have fumbled. He would have lost the ball.
3rd sack of the night for the Penn Hills defense. Puts Manheim Central back 5 yards to the 49 at 2nd and 15. 90 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Indians 36, Barons 20. PIAA 5A state championship. Parent goes in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Simon will roll out, throw it short and incomplete. Try to get Flick out of the backfield, but the ball short hopped him. It's 3rd down.
And you know, they were having so much success, Bob, running the football. And I know what they were thinking. They were thinking on 1st and 10, Penn Hills would continue to think that we're going to keep running it. So instead, we're going to play a play action pass here. But now they are behind the chains. Now they're going to have to throw it.
3rd down, 15 at the Penn Hills 49. Tank Smith will come off the field. Corey Thomas is in there as a 5th defensive back instead on 3rd and 15. 4 receivers set for Manheim Central. Simon steps up, now steps back, buys himself some time. Has to buy himself some more time. Gets the ball off. Pass is incomplete. He was looking for Will Rivers, and Grimes was there to help break it up. It's 4th down.
And there was nobody open. You know, Simon kept trying to buy time, but nobody was open for Manheim Central. You know, these cover guys for Penn Hills are excellent. And look, he's looking. There was only 3 guys out in the route, and they were all covered.
It's not just the interceptions they've had, it's the coverage as well. And so now on 4th down, Penn Hills is assuming that Manheim Central will kick the football. And Kobe Wagner is their punter.
And guess who's back? Number 1 and number 4. And you don't want to kick it really near either one of them, but definitely not number 1.
Wagner boots it. Nice job to angle it away from Cephas.
That's a great job.
And it will roll out of bounds inside the 5. That is an outstanding punt by Colby Wagner, and it rolls out of bounds at the 4. Manheim Central uses 2 punters. They use both Colby Wagner and Isaac Perrin. Wagner punts left-footed, Perrin punts right-footed. It depends on which hash mark they're on, which one will punt.
That's unbelievable. I didn't know
How
that.
sophisticated is that?
You do more research than I do. I had no idea.
That was a no-brainer.
Well, you did 2 other games already this year. That's incredible.
57 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Penn Hills has it 1st and 10 at their own 4. They lead it 36-20. They'll bunch 2 receivers to the right, split them out right and to the left. Window dressing for Tank Smith through the handoff. He'll take it for a couple to the 6. It's 2nd and 8.
Man, every first down at this point now seems important to Penn Hills. You get a chance to get first downs, keep the clock moving. They only have to snap the ball 1 more time in this series. In this quarter, I should say.
Second call, actually 7, as they spotted the ball at the 7 for Tank Smith. Again, they stack the receivers, 2 split right, 2 split left. Well, what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter, barring a penalty? Smith will take the handoff, dances his way out of the backfield, fights for a couple, and will not go down easily. Manheim Central will finally stop his forward progress at about the 10. And that will do it for the 3rd quarter. It was action-packed, to say the least. At halftime, Penn Hills was on top 18-7. Both teams were able to find the end zone a couple of times in the 3rd quarter. 12 minutes left in the 5A state championship. Will Penn Hills run the table and go unbeaten? They lead it Manheim Central 36-20 when we come back on PCN from Hershey Park Stadium.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I am an accountant.
I officiate PIAA sports, and I'm a teacher.
I'm a PIAA basketball official, I'm a firefighter, I'm a father, and I'm also a fan. I think it's easy for people to forget that we are regular people, that the same people I'm refereeing, that my kid plays with those kids sometimes. My kids play in the same league as these kids.
One of the greatest aspects of officiating is building relationships with the partners you're working games with, getting to know them as people, and also building relationships with the players and the coaches that are on the field with you every game.
These kids work so hard day in and day out, and you get to watch the benefit of them getting a new personal record, them making that bar that they've been dreaming of for weeks, and you get to have the front row seat to witness that every single day.
(18-7) was our score at halftime, but both teams open up the offense in the 3rd quarter, and we head to the 4th with the Indians on top of the Barons. The 5A state championship by a score of 36-20 alongside Ross Tucker. My name is Bob McCool. Meg Bolger braving the elements on the sidelines as Penn Hills has it starting this 4th quarter. 2nd down and 8 for the Indians from their own 6-yard line. Excuse me, from their own 10-yard line. It's 3rd down and 4 after the run by Tank Smith at the end of that quarter.
Huge play here.
Hardy on a bootleg, rolls out, has Grimes and cannot hook up with him. Incomplete pass, it stops the clock immediately. It's not too early to start thinking about that if you're the Barons and you're down 2 scores, and now Penn Hills is going to have to punt from deep in their own territory.
Well, this is a terrific play call, and it's wide open, and Mathis just misses him. Just past Grimes' outstretched hands.
So Colby Wagner will drop back to return. And Manheim Central figures to get outstanding field position after this is all said and done. Loudon will punt it, gets it off, short kick. It will hit and actually take a Barons bounce as Manheim Central will take possession at the Penn Hills 27-yard line on a 17-yard punt. So everything Manheim Central could have hoped for happened right there. And the Barons are in prime position to cut the deficit in half right now.
if you're Penn Hills, the positive is you've gotten both punts off. It hasn't been snapped over the punter's head. It hasn't been blocked, but you're right. Look where the Barons are starting, 28-yard line. They're 28 yards from making this a one-score game.
Third time in 5 possessions in the second half that Manheim Central has started in Penn Hills territory.
And I got to think they're going to stick to the ground that they had success on the previous drive.
They will with Tyler Flick on first down, but he again runs into Gustav. Boy, what a head game has been played tonight by Gustav from his defensive end position.
He's 6'1", $180, but he has been awesome. He's playing D-end at 180 pounds. Right side of your screen, able to avoid the block. And I'm telling you, Bob, I still think they've only run Evan Simon one time. Yep. I still think he's got to be a factor with his legs.
Second and now for the Barons.
Actually, it was twice. Remember, the second time he tripped, it would have been a huge hole.
That's right. Arbach on one side, Flick on the other. And Simon wants to throw for it, has a man, but he missed him. Heron was open, but Simon misfired it. And it's an incomplete pass. It's 3rd and 11.
Just looked like they weren't quite on the same page there.
And that's happened a lot tonight.
Just a little.
Whether the wind floated that on Evan Simon or not, I don't know. But there's been a number of times tonight where the receiver and quarterback have just not been hooked up, which is not what you expect in game number 15. 3rd and 11 coming up now for Manheim Central. Simon again, play action fake, looking for it, he's got a man, but he overthrows his target. Had a step on the defense, but Simon and Perrin could not hook up again.
He had him. You got to hit that. You got to hit one of those last 2 throws. He had him and just led him a little bit too much. Nice route combination, a natural rub route on Grimes there. And Simon just missed him, and he knows it.
4th and 11 now for the Barons, having to try to take advantage of this short field.
How about running the same play again? It was wide open.
Perrin is in that slot again with Ben Wagner split out left. It's the same look anyhow. Simon looking for Wagner. Now he's going to take off and run with himself. He's got daylight. First down and more inside the 15-10. First down, goal to go. Evan Simon on the scramble.
Huge hole, terrific decision by Simon because nothing was open. I told you his legs were going to be a factor. They dropped back into coverage. They actually had 2 deep safeties that time, which is why Simon couldn't find anyone. Good job by the Manheim Central offensive linemen continuing to finish their blocks to create that seam for Simon, and the Barons are in business.
First down, goal to go at the 9. 10 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock by the time the Barons take this snap. Down 16 points.
Quarterback draw.
There it is. Simon will not get there. Runs right on in to a defender standing there and waiting for him, and it was Sakai Featherstone who drops him for a loss of a yard.
I am really impressed by the Penn Hills D-line. They've done a terrific job getting off blocks, splitting gaps. Look at the left side, and they don't block them. So that's a mental error there. Nobody was blocking Featherstone to the play side on a quarterback counter. Something's not right there.
Jordy Boswell also there to help out on the tackle. 2nd and goal now at the 10. Simon, play action fake. Looking for Perrin. Jump ball in the end zone, and it's broken up. Cephas was there and knocks it incomplete.
Take another look at that. There was definitely contact there. Fakes under pressure again.
But the contact is because Perrin is reaching back for the football.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Cephas does run into it.
That should have been PI in my book. Cephas does not turn around to make a play on the football, and that's okay. You don't have to. But if the receiver comes back for the ball and you are restricting his movement to try to make a catch and you're not making a play on the ball, that's interference.
3rd and goal instead now. Simon flushed out of the pocket, stops, plants, throws, incomplete. Throws it over the head of his tight end, Evan Hostler also had Colby Wagner in the formation. Over the head of both of them and incomplete. It's 4th down.
And now he's not really getting any time when he drops back to pass. I mean, when he drops back to throw, he is under duress every time, almost immediately. You know, if anything, he's going to have to step up in the pocket.
So now it's 4th down goal to go for the Barons.
And they're going to kick a field goal.
They're going to try to get some points out of this. So we're going to bring on Nick Cavallo to kick the field goal. This will be a 28-yard attempt.
Showing a lot of confidence in your kicker and in your defense here.
Plenty of leg. And it's home. 28-yard field goal by Nick Cavallo. Gets the field goal for Manheim Central. With 9:36 left to go in the game, it makes a 15-point difference now. Penn Hills 36, Manheim Central 23.
So now you got to get some stops on defense. That's a win in my mind for Penn Hills because it was a 2-score game before at 36-20. Now it's still a 2-score game. Now, obviously, they wouldn't have to get the 2-point conversion both times, but it's still a 2-score game. That's a win. I mean, you punt the ball to the 28-yard line and only give up 3 points.
But I guess if you're Dave Hahn and you're looking at that situation, you want to come away with it with something, get some kind of points out of it. But as you said, it still makes it a situation where Manheim Central still needs 2 touchdowns, but now 2 touchdowns gives you the lead instead of trying to go for the top.
It also means if you give up another touchdown, the game is probably over.
Daquan Hardy is again not back there as the return man. Grimes and Cephas are back. That will be Grimes, who's had some trouble with it, picks it up at the 15. Grimes to the 20, 25, and knocked down there. Arnold and Shaw in on the tackle for Manheim Central. Penn Hills will start from their own 26-27. This is officially where they'll spot it. 9:28 left to go. 36-23 is our score. Penn Hills leads Manheim Central.
I would expect to see a heavy dose of Tank Smith. 5'9", 205. If your nickname is Tank, part of that is because you're supposed to help run the clock out to win a state championship for Penn Hills.
They're going to throw it instead. They'll throw a little slip screen, a little flanker screen to Grimes, and he has room to run. Actually goes out of bounds and stops the clock, but he'll be shy of the first down in the process. Stepped out at the 35. It's an 8-yard gain.
And I think Manheim Central was thinking the same thing I was thinking, which is here comes Terry Tank Smith, and instead they throw the look pass out to the receiver. Such a value to have a quarterback like Hollis Mathis, who appears likely to be going to William & Mary now. Was going to go to Howard with Coach Mike London, but he got the William & Mary job.
He was going to go with Tank Smith as well. Both were going to go to Howard. Howard's still in the picture for Tank Smith. And so is a first down as Tank Smith will run for a first down and more. Runs it all the way out to midfield and beyond. We'll see where they spot him out of bounds. Looks like it's at the Barron 46 and a 19-yard first down run for the Tank.
And Harbach's on the edge there, the defensive end, not able to disengage from the blocker, and Tank Smith able to get the corner. And this is one of the issues with going for the field goal when they did.
Check in with Meg with more on Tank Smith.
Yeah, well, guys, the Indians have already made this special trip a little bit more memorable. Tank Smith's uncle is the running backs coach at Penn State, Terry Smith. They were able to stop there last night, practice at the indoor facility there. Everything was okay compliance-wise, no need to worry about that. But Coach LaDon said it was just about making this memorable and special for the kids because that's what it's all about, guys.
Terry Smith, longtime football coach at Gateway, and now on James Franklin's staff, and a guy who is very much a part of the recruiting coordinator for the Nittany Lions.
does a terrific job out in Western PA, obviously. Works hand in hand with Andy Frank, the director of player personnel for Penn State, and they've been racking up some big-time recruiting classes the last few years.
Low snap, Mathis digs it out, dumps it off, it's Cephas.
Wow.
Great open field tackle by Colby Wagner to bring down Cephas at the 40 and a gain of 3.
It really, really was, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Cephas is gone. Nice job by Wagner. He's an impressive junior. Watch this. Nice job by Mathis getting the ball off the ground, not going to a knee, and then just able with that left hand to grab the ankle.
Indians are 4 out of 8 on third down conversions. Now in a 3rd and 4 at the Barron 40. 8 minutes left to go in the 5A championship. Manheim Central looking like they're bringing the entire student body.
They're showing pressure. He should get the ball out quick.
He does, and it's off the shoulder pad of Cephas and incomplete.
Man, they would have had it. They had the perfect play call against a blitz like that. Perfect play call against a blitz was the slip screen behind it. They're lucky that didn't bounce off the shoulder pads to a Barron. It looked like it was going to go right to one of the Manheim Central kids.
So it stops the clock with 7:50 left to go on the incomplete pass.
You got to be in punt safe now if you're Manheim Central. I don't even know if I'd have anybody back. I'd be all alert for the fake.
And now we're going to get a flag thrown, procedure penalty against Penn Hills.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Manheim Central will take every inch they can get as they stand to get a better field position out of this. You have to assume that if you're Manheim Central, you're going for the block here.
Number 5, Toby Wainwright.
No snap, Loudon gets it off. High, short kick. Wagner will call for the fair catch at his own 19-yard line. 7:43 left to go. And there's a penalty flag. We'll hang on here for a second. There's a penalty flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. Been a rough second half in the penalty column for Penn Hills tonight.
Personal foul. Roughing the snapper. Defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Manheim Central gets called for roughing the snapper and a personal foul penalty of 15 yards, and that's going to give Penn Hills a first down and put the offense back on the field.
That is a mental error you just can't have. Take a look at it. After the snapper snapped it, he goes to block him. I don't know. It looked, I mean, he didn't hit him as he was snapping it. After he snapped it, it looked to me like he started to block him. I think the umpire ruled that he hit him with helmet-to-helmet contact while he was still in the act of finishing the snap, I guess.
I think that's what the call is for.
Boy, you don't see that very often.
So the drive is alive. First and 10 at the 30. Mathis reads it and decides to keep it and will run for 4 to the 26.
I know this. That's a gigantic call to make at that point in the game. Wow.
13 penalties against Penn Hills tonight for 100 yards and a very costly 5th penalty of the night for Manheim Central. It gives Penn Hills a first down, keeps the offense back out on the field, and allows them to run some more time off the clock. 7 minutes left to go in this football game by the time Penn Hills snaps this football. 2nd and 6. Mathis throws it. Cephas catches it. Wagner tackles him, but not before Cephas fights for another Penn Hills first down at the 20-yard line. 4th catch of the night for Cephas. More importantly, 1st and 10, Penn Hills at the Barron 20. Allows Penn Hills to run even more time off the clock. If we have it, you don't. That's what you're fighting right now if you're Penn Hills. Both teams still with 2 timeouts left.
Manheim Central's got to try to find a way to get a stop or maybe even rip the ball out here.
Mathis going to throw it for Grimes. Grimes looking for a block. Slips a tackle, 15-10, 5, touchdown, Penn Hills, flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Man, so many penalties.
This is going to be the 14th against Penn Hills, and this one's going to take points off the board.
For a state championship game.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
First and 20, now back at the 30. John Ladon in a state championship back in 2000 with Aliquippa. He scored the only touchdown for the Quips that game. They lost to Mount Carmel 26-6.
I don't know if they called it the left side of your screen right there.
Yeah, because the flag was thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they could have called holding right there, too. Rick Martin had a fistful of jersey himself.
First and 20 now for the Indians back at the 30. They'll give it to Tank Smith, and he's going to find nothing but Manheim Central Barons waiting for him.
The negative of the penalty, obviously, Bob, is that they have to go backwards. The positive is they can take more and more time off that clock right now.
That's what every first down allows for Penn Hills, as Tyler Flick makes the tackle for Manheim Central. No gain on the play for Tank Smith. Second and 20 to 30. Now if you're Penn Hills, you got to be looking at the play clocks in the end zone. Take as much time off each snap as possible before you snap the football. You come to the line of scrimmage with 10 on the play clock. Mathis will snap it with 3 on the clock. He'll keep it on the option. Tosses it to Grimes, dangerous toss. Grimes gets a block, gets the edge, gets the 20, and run out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. See where they spot him out of bounds. Looks like it's at the 16. It'll be 14 of the 20 they needed, and Grimes is slow to get up.
That is a gutsy play right there. To pitch the ball like they did, and they get a nice block from Hardy on the edge. Watch this. Nice job by Mathis with 2 guys. That's a hold right there. But a good job by Hardy right there. You know, to help Mathis, to help Grimes get the edge without clipping. He put his hands up and just kind of ran interference there.
Third and about 6 coming up for Penn Hills.
Alert quarterback draw with an empty set with a running quarterback.
Oh, he's going to throw it. Looking for the corner, looking for the jump ball, and it's incomplete. Looking for Hardy, and a flag goes down. Colby Wagner was the defender. Excuse me, that was not Hardy, that was Corey Thomas. In there at 6'3", they throw the jump ball to him, and Colby Wagner was the defender, and they throw a flag. They're looking over at the Manheim Central bench. Are they going to call offensive interference here, or are they just going to talk over a bunch of the officials?
Colby Wagner in press man coverage. Yeah, you know, he had the right hand. He was arm barring him.
Pass interference. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still third down.
That was the right call there. You got to call that. I mean, he had his right arm stiff-arming the receiver, Thomas, as Thomas tried to come back for the football. You got to throw the flag down. Now, I would have thrown it at the other end. I thought it was pass interference on the other end against Penn Hills. But that was definitely, in my mind, pass interference, and it's going to end up making it a first down, first and goal.
The official said it still stays third down, but they walk off the penalty. It does give, they only needed 4 yards to pick up the first down. Even half the distance is going to give them a first and goal now at the 8-yard line.
That's gigantic. And if I'm Penn Hills here, I'm running the ball probably 4 times, maybe even with Hardy on a jet sweep or something, but I'm not taking any chances here. Maybe Hollis Mathis runs himself.
They will give it to Tank Smith. And Smith gets stood up but doesn't go down easy. Keeps driving the legs. Now you got to be concerned if you're Penn Hills in those situations. Yeah, you want to fight for a yard, but that's when the ball can get stripped out. And as Tank Smith fights for 2 to the 6 at second and goal. Tank Smith now over the 100-yard mark on the night on his 16th carry as he takes it to the 6 and a second and goal.
So when you are Penn Hills in this situation, Bob, this is essentially 4-minute offense. And so the rules that apply ball security is at a premium and no penalties. You do not want to stop the clock. Obviously, they're trying to punch it in for a touchdown to go up 3 scores, but you want to keep that clock moving. No penalties and no turnovers.
Hardy slot left. Martin split left. Cephas split right. And they'll hand it off to Tank Smith, who cuts back along and takes it off left tackle inside the 5, forward progress to the 4, and it's 3rd and goal. Checking in with the injury update with Anthony Grimes, who was shaken up a couple plays ago.
Yeah, guys, he came off of the field, got worked on by the trainers. It looked like to be a right groin injury, stretched him out a bit. Looks like he's up and ready to go back in.
And Daquan Hardy was out of this game for a good portion of the end of the 3rd quarter after he had that kickoff return. He's on the sidelines for a while now. He's back in there. See if Brian Grimes is back out there now on a 4-receiver spread set. It's 3rd and goal. There is Anthony Grimes lining up with Cephas on the left side.
And they can take it under 4 minutes on this play.
Hand it off to Smith. Smith's hit immediately at the 4. It's 4th down, goal to go. Inside of 4 minutes at 3:50 and counting. 4th and goal at the 4 for Penn Hills.
Manheim Central has 2 timeouts. I might have thought about using one right there if I was Dave Hahn. Because they're going to be able to take this down almost only 3 minutes left in the game. And you don't really need to use them as much on offense, but 1st down, stop the clock.
13th play of this drive for Penn Hills, aided by 2 costly Manheim Central penalties.
Penn Hills isn't going to snap it. They're going to take it all the way down and call timeout, which is a smart move.
Play clock will wind all the way down to 1, and then they'll call the timeout. It'll be the 2nd called by the Indians, and it comes with 3:07 left to play. More high school football state championship coverage tomorrow. It starts at high noon. The 3A championship will be Middletown and Aliquippa. Both teams with just 1 loss in the season. They'll fight for the 3A championship tomorrow afternoon. And then at 6 o'clock, it'll be the 6A championship. Harrisburg takes on St. Joe's Prep.
3rd straight year for Middletown out of District 3. 3rd straight year they beat my beloved Wyomissing Spartans in the District 3 playoffs. Now they take on the Quips, the team that Wyomissing beat back in 2012 for a state championship. Quips, it's been a while since the Quips have won it. They lost a couple years ago to Southern Columbia. Was that 2015?
That is correct. Kazan Pugh in the backfield for Aliquippa that day, but they were no match for Southern Columbia that afternoon. Southern Columbia, of course, winning this afternoon's game over Wilmington. If you missed it, the Tigers winning their PIAA record 9th state championship this afternoon.
Feels like Hollis Mathis' leg is going to be a factor here. A little run pass option maybe.
4th and goal from the 4. It is Mathis, and Manheim Central's waiting for him. They'll wrap him up, they'll drag him down, and Manheim Central will take possession. Landon Moyer in on the tackle for the Barons. The Barons will get it back with 3:02 left to play, down 13 points.
That is a big stop for Manheim Central. They had to have it. Now they got to move the ball and move it in a hurry.
And so Evan Simon directs the show now for the Barons. And we talk about the quarterback position at Manheim Central, and there's some legacy there for Evan Simon. And it goes back about 20 years or so ago, 1994-95. Matt Nagy was the quarterback for Manheim Central, went on to play at Delaware, and is now the head football coach of the Chicago Bears. Simon's in trouble right now, buys himself some time. Simon's going to run for it, wants to try to get out of bounds, and does not, as he's tripped up at about the 17-yard line. A couple years after Matt Nagy came along, came Jeff Smoker, who was one of the most highly recruited players in the country, ultimately went on and played 4 years at Michigan State under a guy by the name of Nick Saban.
Nobody's open, Bob. I'm telling you, I mean, on that play, he's looking around. Nobody was open. And it looks like Penn Hills is using another timeout.
That's going to be their 3rd and final timeout. Comes with 2:30 to go. So we talk about Penn Hills and their coverage and what they've done, because the spectacular has been the interceptions that they've come up with. 4 interceptions a night. but then you just get back to the basics of covering as well. And Evan Simon's had a hard time finding some open receivers. He's missed on his last 6 attempts and has to scramble for some yardage that time just to keep the play alive.
And they're running out of time now. I mean, he's going to have to take shots down the field and try to get chunks of yardage one way or the other. And it feels like there's a decent chance that leads to another interception by one of these Penn Hills ball hawks.
Somewhere along the line, Manheim Central's going to need a big play. 2:30 left to go. Down 2 scores. So if you're the Barons, you got to score and get the football back in less than 2.5 minutes if you want to try to win this game. John LaDon calling the timeout to talk things over with his team. In a 2nd and 3 is Manheim Central at the at their own 17-yard line. Three receivers to the right for Simon.
And Penn Hills has 2 deep safeties.
Simon looking left all the way. Can't find anybody open. Now he's going to throw it up in the air, hoping for Colby Wagner to make a play on it. But Dante Cephas is right there in perfect coverage, incomplete.
This is going to be tough, Bob. I mean, this is going to be really tough for Manheim Central. Because these corners, I mean, Cephas and Hardy are both Division I corners.
Cephas, it's broken up, but 3 passes on this. He's made a couple of big tackles in this game, and of course, big plays on offense as well. Play goes down as Simon goes out of bounds. Flag thrown back at about the 11-yard line, which is a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. Or excuse me, the 16-yard line. It's been a busy night for this officiating crew.
Holding. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
21st penalty of this football game as Manheim Central get called for a holding penalty.
Look at the edge, Tyler Flick right there, 24. And yeah, once the guy's shoulders gets turned like that, once they're looking at the edge there, and once the shoulder gets turned like that, they're going to call that. They have to call that.
3rd and 12 now for the Barons, backed up to their own 8. 7 penalties against Manheim Central, 14 against Penn Hills. There's your breakdown of the 21 penalties on the night.
Too many.
Simon looking for the out pattern, looking for the timing of the play, looking for Colby Wagner. But Simon delivered it before Wagner turned out, and now it's 4th down.
He threw that. Wagner wasn't really even ready for it. So whatever the best play is in the playbook, they better call it right now. 4th and 12, 2 minutes left.
There is no tomorrow, so Manheim Central will go for it on 4th and 12 from their own 8. Colby Wagner will split to the right. The other 3 receivers to the left. Simon will roll left. Looks for the edge. He's going to take off and run. He's got the 15. He's got the 20. He's got the 1st down. Evan Simon across the 25 to the 30 and finally brought down at about the 32-yard line and a 1st down run. There is a flag on the play.
I can't believe this, how many flags there have been in this game.
Question is where that flag came, and was it after the play, or where exactly it came in the run for Evan Simon?
I don't know what the flag could have been other than holding.
During the run, block in the back. Offense. 10 yards from this spot, that's still 1st down.
So that happened after Simon had got enough for the 1st down, so they do it from the spot. So it will still be a 1st down run for Manheim Central.
Watch Tyler Flick, 24, who's in front of him there. Yeah, he tried to get his head in front, but it didn't get in front, and it really didn't need to. He really didn't need it.
Yeah, that's the key point of that. He didn't need to do that because it really wasn't in a spot where Grimes could have done a whole lot to make the play on Simon. But it is a first down run for the Barons to the 23. Clock is now inside of 2 minutes left to go. Again, Manheim Central is down 13 points. 10, 12 yards at a clip is not enough, and Simon's in trouble. He slips and goes down, and guess who finishes it off? Armand Gustavs drops Simon back at the 16-yard line.
And Manheim Central needs to use a timeout. I don't know why Manheim Central's not calling timeout.
Clock continues to run inside of a minute and a half to go.
And now they're huddling? They got to go. They got to go right now. Yeah. No huddle. Up on the ball. Let's go.
And Simon just alerted him to that. They're now back at the 16-yard line. Second down and about 17. Simon roll out, stops, plants, throws it short and incomplete. That'll stop the clock. Ben Wagner couldn't scoop it off the dirt. And incomplete pass stops it with 1:09 to go. It's third and about 17.
And they find themselves, even after they got the first down on the Simon run, they find themselves once again in a situation where it's third and forever.
9 straight incomplete passes thrown by Evan Simon. Last completion was the touchdown to Colby Wagner. Third and 17. Same look on the sprint out to the left. Throws it across the middle this time, and it's Ben Wagner makes the catch and fights for a first down. Moves the chains. It'll stop the clock until they do move the chains at the 35. They needed 17. They got 19.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Add 15 more, and now the Barons are at midfield. So they got to the 35 on the first down hook up to Ben Wagner, and the personal foul penalty adds another 15, and Manheim Central's now at midfield.
And that's something you absolutely didn't want to do if you're Tank Smith. I mean, you just can't do that. Why do that in that situation? There have been a lot of mental errors and head scratchers. Good way to describe it. Thank you, Bob. There have been a lot of head scratchers in this game, really, for both teams.
59 seconds left to go. Same situation. Manheim Central is moving the ball, but they've got to move a lot faster. They need 2 scores. Simon steps out of trouble.
Nobody's
has
open.
An edge to run. He's to the 45. The 40 needs to try to get out of bounds and will not. Outstanding open field tackle denies him the out of bounds.
He did get the first down, though, so the clock stops in high school football as they move the chains. Manheim Central's going to call a timeout here. That would have been one where I would get on the ball and probably would have just spiked it.
Jordy Boswell with the tackle on Evan Simon after the 12-yard run for the quarterback. Makes it first and 10 for the Barons, now at the 38-yard line. Again, I'll say it again, Manheim Central is moving the football, but they still need a big hit.
And I understand the timeout call there because you can't take them with you. And I feel like they needed to regroup a little bit, but they got to get in the end zone now. They got to get in the end zone ASAP.
They need a second possession. One score is not going to be enough. They're down 13 points. So they got to score. And obviously tried the onside kick. They tried one earlier tonight, but Penn Hills was waiting for it. First and 10 for the Barons, now at the Indian 38-yard line. 49 seconds left to go. Penn Hills 36, Manheim Central 23. Pair of unbeatens fighting for the 5A state championship. Simon rolls left, rolls back right, and he's going to run again.
Nobody's open.
Nope, can't find anybody open. He's down at the 31. The Barons will call another timeout? No, now they're saying hurry up. Let's get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so then if you're going to do that, then you shouldn't have called timeout when you got the first down and the clock had stopped, and you should have called it right there.
So just 2 yards on the pickup for Simon. He's in trouble again, avoids that trouble. Tries to get out of bounds and will. The straight arm by Evan Simon will get him out of bounds and stops the clock with 19 seconds to go. And there's an injured Baron on the field. It's one of their offensive linemen who is shaken up on the play. And that's Troy Cole.
Colk's a 5'11", 220-pound junior right guard.
Starts both sides of the line of scrimmage for the Barons. Defensive tackle as well. Looks like it's a right ankle he's holding on to right now.
Watch 59, the right guard right there. Ooh, he got leg whipped. The tail end of that play by Tank Smith, who was going in trying to get Simon down. Ouch. That doesn't feel good.
Polk will walk off the field under his own power. Timeout on the field for the injury, but Simon had run out of bounds to stop the clock with 19 seconds left to go, and the Barons have the football at the 34-yard line, officially on a 3rd down and 6.
And I'm telling you, Bob, the last 3 or 4 plays, nobody's been open. I mean, I'm up here watching it. They got 2 deep safeties, and they got Division I corners all over the place. But he's going to have to throw the ball in the end zone here. I mean, they got to go.
Throws it short instead. Ben Wagner makes the catch, gets out of bounds, picks up the 1st down, steps out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 14 seconds to go.
$14 seconds left. I mean, if you're being realistic about trying to win the football game, it's probably, first of all, not real realistic, but second of all, you got to throw the ball in the end zone on this play. In the end zone on this play.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. They'll throw it underneath instead. Pass is caught, and immediately out of bounds is Colby Wagner. Ben and Colby, twin brothers, and it's Colby who goes out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Stops it with 10 seconds to go.
And they'll let you just keep doing that.
Right. Rivers is split to the right. The other 3 receivers for the Barons. The Wagner twins and Perrin to the left. Simon steps up in the pocket, does throw it in the end zone. It's tipped and caught. Isaac Perrin makes the catch on the deflection with 3 seconds left to go.
Okay. So now you just kick the extra point.
Right. And you need an onside kick, and
you need an onside kick that bounces off one of the Penn Hills
players, pick it up and run it in. That's all you need to do if you're Manheim Central. Took them 2 minutes and 59 seconds to put that in the end zone.
Wow. And that was one of the concerns with kicking the field goal rather than going for it when they were down 16.
So they'll go for 2 here, make it a 5-point game. Little flea flicker action here as they pitch it back to Simon. Simon pounded to the ground as he takes the shot, and now a flag thrown on the play.
Oh, man. Oh, I hate seeing that.
Armand Gustav shaking up on making a hit as well. As Evan Simon took the shot at the 5-yard line, and he has not gotten up yet.
Really hate seeing that. I don't understand, Bob, personally, why they went for 2 there.
No.
I mean, you're down 7.
No, it doesn't make
There's no difference between being down 7 and 5.
Right.
I'm sorry, 6 and 5. Right. Just kick the extra point, be down 6, 36-30.
Yep.
Not sure why they went for 2. And
good to see Evan Simon
Personal
up.
foul. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
So now the question is, what do they do with Evan Simon being the player shaken up? He does get up and walk off the field under his own power, but he would have to come off the field for 1 play.
Let's take another look at the hit.
Ooh, that's helmet to helmet. Gustav with the hit on Evan Simon. And both players were shaken up for a minute, and that's the reason for the flag. But again, Simon would have to come out of the game for 1 play.
Well, even more reason just to kick the extra point. Right?
Absolutely.
Am I missing something for why they're going for 2
absolutely not.
here?
Mathematically, there's nothing to be gained by going for 2. Whether you're down 6 or whether you're down 5, doesn't matter. When there's 3 seconds left to go, and the only thing you can get is a touchdown. direct snap at Wildcat it here with Flick. And Flick will take it. He'll take it in for the 2-point conversion. So that makes it the 36-31 score. But now one thing to think about. Again, we're in miracle land right now if you're in Manheim. But that penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So if you are going to kick the onside kick, you're at least 15 yards closer to try to pick one up in the air, because you got to run it in. You can't just recover the onside kick.
Take another look at the touchdown pass. Simon steps up in the pocket, throws it down, and the ball gets tipped right to Perron. Wow.
So 3 seconds left to go in this football game. Manheim Central closes the gap to 36-31 on the touchdown pass. So the Barons will have to onside kick. But again, the clock will start. It's not just about recovering the onside kick. They must recover it and be able to advance it. Otherwise, Penn Hills just simply has to fall on it. That's all John LaDon's team has to do right now. Fall on the football, and Penn Hills will win its first state championship since 1995.
And they've earned it. It hasn't been easy. They got to find a guy, kick it off of him, and try to pick it up and go. I would say not real likely. Pretty entertaining game, though, other than all the penalties.
Here is the onside kick. It's
the ball on the ground.
The ground, and they will fall on it. The clock did not start. So there is the handshake. The game is officially over. Manheim Central falls to Penn Hills in the PIAA 5A state champion. John LaDon, just the third-year head coach at Penn Hills High School, has come around and turned this program back into a winner, winning their first state title since 1995. His team is your 5A state champion. They win it 36-31. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the award ceremony and words with the winning coach when we return to Hershey Park Stadium live on PCN.
For over 25 years, PCN is proud to bring you exciting moments of Pennsylvania sports. From touchdowns to double plays to the butterfly stroke, PCN brings all the action right to you. PCN is a 501c3 nonprofit television network that receives no state or federal funding. Please consider a tax-deductible donation today. PCN is Pennsylvania sports. It doesn't matter what part of the state you're from. One thing is certain. Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
Penn Hills Indians are your 2018 PIAA Class 5A champions, and the game ended in a rather unusual and unfortunate circumstances, but that does not take away from what Penn Hills was able to do. It's quite simply put, just too much Daquan Hardy. The speed, the athleticism of Penn Hills ultimately wins out in the end. Their defensive secondary as advertised.
Yeah, it was not just him, but he was clearly the key guy. I mean, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 3 of those touchdowns over 70 yards. I mean, it's got to be one of the best performances in state championship history. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, 3 of the touchdowns over 70 yards. I can't remember a better performance, certainly from a DB wide receiver like that.
Yeah, it goes back to the Darrell Rivas days back at Aliquippa. He put on quite a show when he was here. But Daquan Hardy, a pass reception for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and an interception return for a touchdown. All of them big plays, all of them huge plays for Penn Hills, as the Indians come up with 4 interceptions in the game, 5 in total between the two teams. Penn Hills also had a pass intercepted for Manheim Central as the interception by Isaac Perrin set up Manheim Central's first score. The Barons actually took the first lead at 7-0, but then it was the Indians running out the remainder of the first half. They took an 18-7 lead and then opened the third quarter with a touchdown drive and ultimately continued to add on to that lead. It grew to 30-7 before Manheim Central started to fight their way back into this game. But again, after Manheim Central scored, they kicked off, and Daquan Hardy returned that one for a touchdown of 83 yards. And back and forth we went on the scoreboard, but Penn Hills had opened up too much of a lead, and Manheim Central just could never quite catch back up.
Terrific moment for Penn Hills. Those young men have earned it. Undefeated season. To beat some of the teams they beat, Archbishop Wood, West Allegheny, Manheim Central, they have earned it.
And let's find out what Meg Bulger working her way through that crowd, trying to catch up with winning coach John Ladon.
Well, Coach, congratulations, but first off, you hate to see a game end that way. Obviously, all of our thoughts and prayers are with Clay Beatty, and I know you guys were taking a knee, worried about him as well.
Yes, definitely got him in our thoughts and prayers. Anytime you see a young man down, it's a 16, 17-year-old kid. Hopefully, thoughts and prayers out to him. Hopefully, makes a full recovery.
But on top of that, this game was an emotional roller coaster. What was going through your head in that second half? It wasn't always pretty.
We just asked guys to make plays, and they kept making plays. At times, our defense gave up big plays. Hats off to Manheim Central for always battling. That's why you got to play 4 quarters of football.
You had some phenomenal playmakers out there tonight, in particular Daquan Hardy. What in the world was he doing out there?
Daquan's just being Daquan. It's something he could have did all year. When his number gets called, he's very special. We try to put him in position to make plays, and he just continues to make plays.
On a personal note, you are now a coach that has won as a player and now won as a coach. How special is that for you?
Anytime you get to the PIA championship game and get an opportunity to win, it's so real, very special time. Just excited to share this moment with these guys.
Well, Daquan, first up, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Because you did it defensively, offensively, on special teams. What was going through your head all game?
I was just trying to make plays. Coach always preached it. You never call, you got to make a play. So I was just doing my job.
Before you left, there was a lot of former players, Aaron Donald, Bill Fralick, lots of guys sending their messages, the whole community here behind you. How special is this to share that and bring this back to Penn Hills with a WPIAL and a state championship?
It's one of the most special moments of my life so far. It's one of the biggest moments. I feel like I achieved it all so far, but I ain't done yet. Got college,
After tonight, you are not done yet. Congratulations. Go enjoy it with your team. Guys.
Thanks very much. Great job, Meg. Manheim Central will finish 14-1 District 3 champions and PIAA runner-up. Penn Hills, the WPIAL champion, will finish the season unbeaten. They win the state championship at Class 5A. Great job by our crew from Service Electric and TV2 Sports in the Lehigh Valley, braving the elements all day, all afternoon, and all night, bringing a doubleheader of football and 2 more games to come your way tomorrow afternoon as well. Paul Podolsky has been our producer for PCN. Dwayne Long has been our director. Thanks to Travis Sparks and Carl Graber for stat help here in the booth. For my colleague Ross Tucker, for Meg Bulger, for Mike Zambelli and Jim Wills, my name is Bob McCool. Thanks for watching high school football. Penn Hills, your 5A state champion. They beat Manheim Central 36-31. Have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon from Hershey Park Stadium.
PCN and the PIAA, bringing the best of high school athletic championships to you. PCN and the PIAA are Pennsylvania sports.